Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our commentaries of the mainline series of X-Men movies. And today we are starting with, in my opinion, the most average film of the bunch. 2016's X-Men Apocalypse, the last film to have any involvement of Bryan Singer in the series whatsoever.
More like X-Men Apocalypse, am I right?
Okay, folks, a little rundown of history here. The X-Men franchise is, needless to say, not flawless. No franchises. However, it's been interesting. The first two movies, while still good, have kind of aged badly. X-Men 3, while it somewhat has aged to be better, is still technically a bad movie. X-Men Origins Wolverine, burn it. Burn it with fire. Then, I'll admit, X-Men First Class was better than I remembered it to be. And then X-Men Days of Future Past was sadly not as good as I remembered
But what
it to
about
be.
the Wolverine, Jova?
Oh yeah, the Wolverine was fun too.
Sorry, Waves, the movies, forget about that, so why should we?
Oh, no. To be fair, the Wolverine was a good, bout of fun movie here. It's just that, man, X-Men Days of Future Past was not as great as I remember it to be. I mean, it's still a good movie, but it is hampered by Bryan Singer fridging a lot of characters that weren't his.
But the point is that there are still, at this point in time, the X-Men franchise in general has still a couple of arrows, being squealed to pro. And this is one of the other major stories that the X-Men are famous for, specifically with the mutant that we saw in the Stinger of Days of Future Past. But more to that when we actually start.
So, of course, we're going to gradually build up to facing. What's that? Oh, I mean, of course we're immediately next going to go on to pretty much the Thanos mutant equivalent Apocalypse. Oh boy, this movie is not remembered fondly.
It's not really considered the worst X-Men movie in a lot of people's minds, from what I can tell. It's like my opinion. If you'd rank X-Men movies, I'd probably rank this around.
Yeah, you know those.
The bottom of the middle.
You know those YouTube tier lists. This would probably be a C for me. But whatever. Let's just start this. All right, Leaves. Where should we start?
Before the Fox logo. In 3, 2, 1, click.
You know, to sum up this movie pretty well, honestly, if it were almost any other circumstance, this movie wouldn't have been panned as much. But the fact is that, like I said, and I wasn't kidding, what we're about to do is the equivalent of, say, Infinity War, or Endgame, as you will.
It's literally just jumping a gun, but I'm more amused by the fact that not killing Bolivar Trask apparently diverges the timeline so much that this happens instead of anything else.
Oh yes. Basically, folks.
Talk about the butterfly effect.
Basically, folks, we will have two movies that are meant to fill in the gaps between, I guess, whatever past Wolverine has to when he wakes up at the end of Days of Future Past. This and Dark Phoenix. And needless to say, I hope that Xavier gave him the Cliff Notes version, because, oh boy, we're in for a rough ride, folks.
Narration.
Yeah. Now we're fully focused once again on the First Class cast.
Yay! For better or for worse. Was this around the time when they started wanting out of these movies?
Well, one of them did.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Is any reason why she wanted so badly out of these movies?
I guess she just got tired of the role.
Well, that, and apparently she didn't really like the lipstick makeup she always had to wear.
Can imagine that.
I can imagine that would be quite...
Also, for the joy of Linkara, this movie has the most evil, nefarious antagonist of all, Ancient Egypt!
Oh, God.
Well,
yes, because, like I mentioned in the Stinger of Days of Future Past, we're about to meet the most ancient mutant ever existed on the face of the earth, and Sabah Nut, Apocalypse.
If it was
I see they're running with that continuity for Apocalypse, probably for the best.
It's interesting because in the year 2016, turn to films that have something to do with Egypt, it's a better one than Gods of Egypt, at least.
But you know what? This takes the whole aliens helped ancient Egypt to build their pyramids to a whole new level.
Jeez,
And in
why
this
don't you just
movie-
play the Empire March at this point?
In this movie, Apocalypse is played by Oscar Isaac, aka Poe from Star Wars.
And in
Wow.
sort of tradition, Apocalypse preferred to surround himself with 4 people that he considered his knights. Of course, the knights
Why
of Apocalypse.
4?
Because the 4 horsemen
Number
of
of
the
death,
apocalypse.
and he calls himself Apocalypse. So, of course, like in the Revelation book, the 4 Knights of Apocalypse: war, pestilence, famine, and death.
Ah, yes, that ancient Egyptian tribute thing.
Oh,
Oh.
did he capture Wolverine?
We don't know. It's kind of hard to place bold, so.
Hold on, it's
No,
impossible. It's impossible. Wolverine was a child around the time.
No, because
of...
one of Apocalypse, weaknesses is the fact that his body can deteriorate, so he prefers to body jump whenever he can.
I mean, for a start, he doesn't look like Hugh Jackman at all, so.
Not just that, Days of Future Past or not, the part of X-Men Origins where Wolverine is born is sadly still canon. So.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of a bit unclear. How much of X-Men Origins Wolverine did they make non-canon?
Pretty much up until the point where the timeline changes with Mystique not killing, Bolivar Trask.
So they kept Sabretooth being his brother. Damn it.
Yep.
Not that it matters, we won't see him again.
Yep.
The choir chanting kind of gives
As
me
a
the sense
molten
that
gold
this
who
is
rises
very
up.
evil.
And now, John Ottman with his choir.
So, Tio, which version of Apocalypse's power set does this movie use?
Pretty sure it's like the classic energy bending. Again, you have to remember, Jova, I'm not too familiar with the X-Men, so compared to the rest of Marvel stuff. Let me check. Let me give a quick check.
What? I swear, one of those guys looks like Jackson Rathbone from Last Airbender.
Oh.
Mutiny!
What is this? Well, I mean, since knowing what we know about Apocalypse, I'd want a mutiny too.
Well, yeah, from what I recall, Apocalypse is kind of a bad boss.
And yes, but remember, the 4 Knights of Apocalypse are also mutants of their own, because, the Apocalypse is kind of, not, I guess, racist in the kind of sense, because he prefers to surround himself with people that have high levels of power, similar to his.
Wow, I wonder which ones he'll pick for this movie.
Let's
Normally they have
see.
some
All
pretty
right, let's
interesting
see
picks.
what Wikipedia has to tell. Well, the body surf still manages to get applied. Also, is that a scroll?
Oh.
But anyway, blah blah blah. Because in the original Apocalypse in the comics was merged with celestial technology, but
Hey.
of course we can't.
Yeah, I gotta say, even for a 12-rated movie, that death was pretty gruesome. Getting knotted to death.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's see. Total control molecules of his body that can form his suit. Blah blah blah. Enhance his physical abilities, transform his limb into weapons, wings or jet, regenerate from fatal injury, generate a wide range of powers at will, and adapt his body to apparently any disease or hostile environment, project and absorb energy, technopathy, being able to directly interface with the various technology at his disposal, blah blah, and he can regenerate.
sounds like the jack of all trades mutant.
Yeah, Apocalypse is disgustingly OP, in case you don't know.
Like I said, he's pretty much the equivalent to like Thanos or Darkseid when it comes to X-Men.
And with the last of her strength, the last of the Knights of Apocalypse protects her master.
Well, I guess that's good loyalty for you. Albeit now he's trapped.
Buried.
Surely to never be risen again.
Oof.
So basically, now it's time to make a very well-placed death trap that blocks any poor sap that tries to grave rob the place.
Fast forward to the title screen.
Yeah. You know what? I'm actually pretty sad at hearing this theme tune for the series.
That is what. They
Why
use
Jesus?
They get it because the cross is an X. Wait, oh my God, was Jesus a mutant?
I don't think for the context of his movie, possibly. But if I recall correctly, considering also communism, considering how in the Marvel traditional, comics, all religions are canon in some kind of fashion, Jesus will probably a thing too.
Well, I mean,
I think we just, quite
anyway,
talking about it.
Were you gonna say something about the theme changeover?
Yeah, this is actually pretty still iconic. And I will say this, folks.
Peace turns to chaos.
Of course.
So now we're in 1983, and this is the point where
is Michael Fassbender just saying, like, you dudes, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, this is the point of the series where some of the cast members were sorry, that's the one way to put it. One thing I gotta say, some of the characters have aged real great in 20 years, haven't they, Jova?
Yes.
Yeah. It's gonna be even worse in Dark Phoenix.
I mean,
well, this film is set in 1983.
Yeah, at least this one has a better handling of.
It's a minor problem. Trust me, this movie has bigger problems, but yeah, I will admit it is a.
Yeah, we're about to see. Yes, go folks. We're about to see Cyclops' mutant powers getting awakened.
Pardonnez-me, God.
Again, not killing Bolivar Trask allows Scott to develop his powers later. I can't stress enough that the butterfly effect can work this much in this universe.
And not only that, it apparently makes the Phoenix Force now associated with space instead of just being, Do
you want to choke? I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
So...
Why are you looking at Butthead?
So I guess it's safe to assume...
Yeah, knocking at the door is gonna clearly making open it.
So is it safe to assume that at this point in... that's right.
So... It's a good thing that Scott didn't kill the bully.
Well, Tio, at least the... Wait, oh my God, never mind.
Remember,
the movie forgot that his ray is a concussive ray.
Some of these movies actually do remember that Cyclops' eye vision is made of concussion blasts and not,
you can't just cut through stuff.
Remember that one movie that constantly had the blast changing whether or not they were concussive or
X-Men Origins Wolverine, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and look at that, there's the Blob.
An Angel? Okay,
again,
apparently now in this timeline, Angel is...
not killing
that butterfly effect.
Yeah, not killing Bolivar Trask makes the Blob actually arrive in a competent way, and and Angel developing his powers in a different way.
And I guess the whole Archangel thing came from cage fighting now.
Also, okay, I get it, the cage fight and everything, but why in East Berlin? East Berlin is the communist one, the one that is more strictly forbidden. These things should happen in West Berlin.
Also, I can't believe... Also, why are they having Angel here instead of...
Oh, yes, we're about to witness another return, sort of.
Oh, boy.
The amazing...
Fantastic. Nightcrawler.
Oh, wow, that butterfly effect. Hey, weren't you supposed to be Alan Cumming?
By the way...
Now he's Cody Smith McPhee.
Yeah, by the way, Nightcrawler, about your dad, let's just say that he died off screen.
I believe Cody Smith McPhee was supposed to play the younger Wolverine from that little scene in X-Men Origins, but some stuff happened and now he's Nightcrawler.
So I guess it's a... Well, okay, I'll give him this. This is a much better movie than X-Men Origins Wolverine. Though, what the heck kind of costume is Nightcrawler wearing here? I mean, I get that it's supposed to be all thematic and all that, but that just looks like he came from a circus. And yes, I know in the comics he comes from a circus, but from what I recall, they don't really address him coming from a circus in the movie.
Oh, so they're forced to fight.
Why do you care, Archangel? You do have an healing ability.
Did they remember that for this movie?
I don't know.
Again, I haven't seen this movie since I saw it in the cinema back in 2016. It's interesting because a few months before this, Deadpool came out. And it was met with a lot more... Well, I think this film... I think Deadpool did a little better at the box office. It certainly got better reviews.
Then what now?
This movie.
Yeah, but what did it get better reviews then?
Oh, Deadpool did better than this movie.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Deadpool also
slightly in terms of...
It also had the advantage of a lower budget, to be honest.
Yeah, slightly in terms of box office, but a lot in critical reception. Because I think this film's around the 50% margin or 40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And even with positive things to say, again, this movie is kind of weak. It's a bit hard to describe why, folks. It takes a bit of watching. But you'll see why this is considered one of the lesser movies.
So, who was Nightcrawler saved by?
I wonder.
Sounds familiar. Also looks familiar.
Oh my.
Don't. Pruszczko, Poland.
Yeah, in case you don't know, during this year, Poland was traversing a very difficult time because it was under Soviet regime and it wasn't really pretty. What are you doing here, Magneto?
Well, he's working with metal, so...
I know, but this should be the last place you should be doing something like this.
What happened to your whole screw humanity, I'm just gonna go do my own thing?
Well, I guess you can say this is doing his own thing.
I guess he's given up on the whole freeing
He's kind of doing the exact thing Wolverine was doing in X-Men Origins. He just retired to a different country trying to forget about the past.
Which is funny considering what he tries doing in Dark Phoenix as well.
Well, okay. If there is one thing this film does do well, is teach us a valuable lesson.
Don't let psychopaths go around wandering free.
Not exactly. What I was going to say was... Just leave Magneto the fuck alone.
Oh yeah, true. That's one thing we had to learn again in Dark Phoenix.
Tio, is Poland a Scandinavian country, or am I getting it mixed up with another?
Poland? No.
Yeah. No.
Poland is Eastern European.
Okay.
It was part of the Iron Curtain during the Cold War.
Well, I mean, in terms of films that are set in a country that is traditionally kind of cold at certain points, really cold, especially at certain points of the year, it's a better one than The Snowman, from what I understand.
Is that supposed to be Scarlet Witch?
No.
No, God.
I know, especially considering that Peter, here is much older. Again, I'm baffled that the X-Men movies never did their own version of Scarlet Witch, even though they could.
What MCU films came out in 2016?
Doctor Strange,
Civil
I think.
War and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, Captain America Civil War. A movie that, I'll admit, I kind of have more problems with the more I go back to, but not a bad one per se.
It's still important, though.
Oh, yes, it's important. And hey, I'll give it this, it introduced Spider-Man and Black Panther to the MCU. That was good.
Oh. Nah, that's never gonna happen. What could possibly go wrong?
Wait, when did... Oh no! I just remembered something. Michael Fassbender and movies. When did Assassin's Creed the movie come out?
I think 2016.
I think.
The same year this film came out.
Let me check just to be sure.
I feel like we commentated on it the year it came out.
We did. Well, not when it came out, but
not when it came out, but the year it did.
2016, yeah.
December specifically, late. Well, this was May.
Wait, was that Quicksilver? I thought it was Quicksilver.
It looks like him, doesn't it? Anyway, Xavier's School for Gifted
Youngsters.
So, I wonder if at this point they have Wolverine teaching at the school yet.
No, that's Havoc. Remember, because we actually did remember that Havoc is supposed to be Scott's brother.
Hygiene.
Yeah. This time, Well, Jean Grey, I mean, obviously being set in the 80s.
She's played by Sansa Stark.
Yeah, Sophie Turner, but yeah, like Tia said, aka Sansa Stark from Game of Thrones.
Oh.
It's more ironic than anything, because she looks the part for these movies, but when you have the knowledge, she's supposed to be Sansa as the actress, so it's kind of ironic to see an actress that in that kind of role was more timid like that, now doing something a bit more powerful, but I know what you mean.
And to be fair, casting someone from Game of Thrones worked out well the last time.
Oh yeah, basically.
Also, I'm actually, you know what? I'm actually glad because I didn't know if Avok was one of the casualties in the previous movie because he doesn't show up.
No. He shows up for like that. Wait.
One scene along with Stryker, I think.
That was Havoc. Yeah. He shows up for that one scene where Mystique busts him out from the military.
And there we are, Professor X again, played by James McAvoy with a head full of hair again. Although I think he loses his hair later on in the movie.
Yeah, in order for a transition. You can already start seeing that as his, front is already big enough.
Yeah, see, they are, it's his brother.
Oh my god, Tio, they actually
did remember that Avok is supposed to be Cyclops' brother.
Wow.
Figures. Next you're gonna tell me that, well, no, I don't think it does, because that will be too tangling, but in other amount waves, Cable is supposed to be the future son of Cyclops and Jean Grey. That's why he has psychic abilities.
So they gave birth to Josh Brolin?
Yep.
Which means they gave birth to Thanos.
It's interesting.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time Jean and Scott have given birth to disaster.
Alright, let's try testing the Cyclops and see what happens. Open your eyes. I see. Your eyes are open.
Nothing to be afraid of.
And this turns Jean on for some reason.
Oh, the way he endangered those children really gets to me.
And he killed his grandfather's tree.
That tree was very old.
Oh, it was your favorite tree, was it? Just gonna rub it in.
How could you be expelled if you weren't even
Scott of the Summers, as strong as you can be.
Scott, on the Summers, watch out for that tree, and Jean Grey.
But hey, he's in the school.
In case you were confused with Cairo, Poland.
So see, kids, the moral of the story: if you want to get enrolled into a school that you really want to go to, wreck a tree.
I wonder who's this person.
Let's see, a thief in Cairo. I know this story that eventually ends in Wakanda.
And someone is having a mark. Let me guess, you are the Tomb Keepers and want to prevent the pharaohs getting the rare god cards. No? Damn it.
Wrong continuity. Although, could you imagine the
maybe that's the twist. The real identity of Apocalypse is actually Melvin.
Could you imagine, though, if the X-Men films were made by Kanavi?
Oof.
Such good hand-to-hand combat. Who could be behind that veil?
No, she's Chloe. Don't you see? This is that trailer for Uncharted Lost Legacy.
No, she is
Moira McTaggart again.
Well, you were expecting someone else?
Like Indiana Jones? Seriously, looks like she's cosplaying. All she's missing is the fedora.
Tips.
Again, last time we saw her, she had her memory wiped.
So Moira,
I'll say something more in the final thoughts.
So Moira, are you going to be Scottish this time?
Well, she's played by the same actress for the same continuity.
What's this?
Wow,
the tip of a pyramid.
Well, Dibs, as the MCU Scarlet Witch has shown us, accents can change.
And again, this series has shown that as well.
It's like
when Halle Berry tried that accent in the first movie.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like a prison or something. You know, Jonah, this kind of reminds me of the beginning of As Above, So Below. Just not with the found footage.
I think this may be a bad idea to be excavating. Just saying, more often than not. Uh-oh.
It seems that Ensaba Nur had followers through time, despite his imprisonment.
I mean,
his cult
imagine
survived.
telling your descendants through the years, okay, at one point every year, you have to go to this exact spot in Egypt and chant Sabah.
Dweebs, it's actually very similar to what the three teachings of the Quran do. At a specific point in the day, you have to turn in the direction where the Mecca is.
Where Mecca is and do
and pray, say specific prayers. So it's not too far off from that.
Yeah, I know. T. I took Ari.
And you're British. That's a bad joke.
Ari is in religious education. Oh, for a second I thought we were doing the title sequence again.
No.
It reminds me of something else. It seems that boosting gold is the last thing that Apocalypse is needing for his resurrection. So
it's like Rita in Power Rangers. She needs gold.
So I guess the stinger in Days of Future Past was
the 2017 movie. I mean,
was for nothing. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing though. We get rid of one big threat, but there's not to say there's not going to be another.
No. What I mean, Dweebs, is that the stinger in Days of Future Past. Remember when it shows the kid version of Apocalypse? What was that for?
Well, he was building his pyramid so he can, do.
I guess it was a flashback to the beginning of this movie. But yeah, Apocalypse is awakened now and played by Oscar Isaac.
I said earlier Oscar Isaac. And to give Oscar Isaac credit, he does all right in the movie.
So
let's just say that he doesn't like to be encased in stone here.
So Oh, does he have claustrophobia?
More like an ego.
Yeah, I do not wish to be enclosed in this tomb. Who do you think I am?
You know, it's funny, seeing as how Moira McTaggart is on the scene here.
You know, one thing that was interesting, a lot of people were rather miffed that Apocalypse wasn't played by a bigger guy, but Bryan Singer was like, well, I mean, what would you rather have me do? Cast a muscle-bound guy who can't act, or someone like Oscar Isaac?
I mean, that's not to say that there are muscle-bound guys who can't act.
Apocalypse is not exactly super chatty or Shakespearean as a villain.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, there are plenty of muscle-bound guys who can act well. So,
yeah, see, that's why he works at the metal factory.
Just so he can be outed, and he has to leave the place forever.
No, wait, it's okay. Nobody noticed. Except for maybe that one guy.
Was that Jim Belushi?
Anyway, it's funny that Moira McTaggart was on the scene for Apocalypse there. Basically, in the comics, it's been recently retconned that Moira McTaggart is actually a mutant. Not just any mutant, though. Her special mutant power is that she's able to relive lives through different dimensions. And basically, she is now on her final life to live.
The 11th.
And
they basically turned her into a Time Lord, the Dweebs.
Oh, but not only that, one of the lives she lived, she was in the employ of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting, actually.
Oh, what's this?
You know, Gene, if you're not careful, you can set fire to the bed.
Not only that, but...
Gene is developing some peculiar powers.
Oh no, is it from her split personality? Oh wait, no, that's right, in this continuity...
Honestly, already, here's one of my first problems with the movie, and which will be repercussed to Dark Phoenix. Once again, Fox is not understanding to foreshadow the Dark Phoenix saga, and instead is just rushing out with the more obvious things, the fucking Firebird.
Not only that, but there's quite a lot of subplots in this movie, some of which are, you guessed it, meant to preview for other movies.
This is unfortunately similar to how Avengers Age of Ultron has Thor basically get the GTFOing the movie at some point because they tried to
just so you can go for a whole swing.
For Ragnarok.
But Gene, that's not for another 3 years.
and it's gonna be very different.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you meant the world of the. I meant this series, not the. Okay, 4 years technically, but.
I forget if they still keep a part of the whole split personality aspect for the Phoenix movie.
No, nor do they keep the fact that she sees a Vok as an hallucination or something. No.
Like, don't get me wrong, folks.
It's a problem, but I mentioned this more for the movies, but let me just summarize quickly, Jova. It's a problem with rewrites. That's it.
Right, yeah.
What are you talking about? Those MCU guys are the best.
Well, I guess they did their job somewhat competently.
You see, again, this scene alone would be fine if it wasn't for the whole burnings on the bed. Those were completely unneeded and ultimately damaged this foreshadowing on the long run.
We're certainly damaged the bed.
Well, it's like I said, part of the problem with this movie is that this movie gets a little too wrapped up in trying to set up things for other future movies.
And knowing what we know about what Charles did in Dark Phoenix, these things assume a completely different context.
Yeah. When I...
You're not a Jedi, mate.
Those times when I critique a movie for not thinking that well ahead? This is one of those moments. Look, I'll just say it like this.
Not just that, it's also basically implied that it's Apocalypse Rising that is awakening the Phoenix Force, which, by the way, she technically doesn't have right now.
I'll just
so it's weird. But also, quickly, sorry, Joe, not for me, but Lives, you want to mention about the set?
Yes. Once again, this is the iconic set of the Cerebro.
And I think this is the last time actually that we see it. Or it shows up in Dark Phoenix.
It's in Dark Phoenix.
Okay then. Anyway, go on, Jova.
Yeah. Oh God, what was I talking about? Oh, right. If there's one rule I would issue to the film industry is that unless you absolutely know what it is you're setting up for, either be vague enough about it so that you aren't held down by stuff, or don't try and suggest what it is. Otherwise, you could end up with very silly things, like the reason Nick Fury can't trust anyone.
I hate that fucking bit.
Here's Moira.
Aww, he's still in love with her. I like that way, like the camera was zooming in on her like she's a model. Like, yeah, I know she just escaped life and limb, but she's got time to ready her hair.
Yeah, she barely aged today, just like the rest of you.
Maybe we shouldn't be pointing that out, movie. Just saying. Are you sure that you're thinking with your brain and not
check
your...
her out. Okay. At no point have I ever said that I don't think this film is funny.
Oh, no. Absolutely. It's like, well, this movie does have the ingredients to be a good movie. It's just, again, the problem is that...
It doesn't really come together. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the thing.
Oh, speaking of coming together, yeah, how about Magneto's whole subplot here?
Trying to run away.
Yeah, what about your daughter, Magneto? You don't want to just up and abandon her now, do you?
Well, they're packing away and leaving.
One has to wonder if this was them trying to set up, actually, for Scarlet Witch. Or maybe they were setting up for his other daughter.
Did he even own the rights to Scarlet
Yes,
Witch?
like I said in the previous movies, when it comes to Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, the rights before the full acquisitions were co-owned. The folks held the advantage, however, in a sense that they could freely admit those two are mutants and the children of Magneto. Marvel Studios couldn't until now.
So one has to wonder, too, do you think they were hinting at Magneto's other daughter? I forgot her name.
I don't know.
I think it was Phosphora was the name.
I think so, but what I'm more interesting about is that if Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige will now try instead to sort of sneak in a retcon in a sense and say that when the X-Men will inevitably roll up, Magneto is actually the real father of Pietro and Wanda and their parents in they had in Age of Ultron were not the real ones.
Gee, isn't
We
this...
do not take kindly we do not take kindly your kind, comrade. Now, you want to do this the good way or the Bosch way?
Seriously, guys, leave me the fuck alone. Do you not know what happens when you don't leave me alone?
I will keep true of my name and I will bend your ass if you don't do cooperate.
Oh, boy. You know, they really are turning Magneto into the Wolverine of the X-Men universe with this, aren't they?
Also, this is a clear day-to-night shot, and the lighting is horrible here.
Henrik Gursky.
Oh, right,
What a surprise, the Soviets don't like mutants either.
Well, okay.
Wait, were the Soviets in charge of Poland at the time?
Yes,
Okay.
Iron Fist.
Okay. To be fair, it's not so much that they're against a mutant, it's that they're after Magneto, and he has killed people. So, in a way,
But that's the thing, he has been a terrorist in regards to America. They should, proclaim him a national hero.
Well, to be fair to you, let's not forget, in X-Men First Class, he tried to kill both Americans and Russians.
I suppose.
Okay, so... To be fair, this one time, I can see why they would be after him, seeing as how he is technically a killer.
Yeah, he did. Plus, he did nearly kill some of the high-ranking generals.
And look at that, at least they're letting his daughter go.
For once, the Soviet, the dictatorial police actually are men of good words. What a surprise. The people will sentence all of them to gulags. Well, to be fair, the Stalin era was over already by this point. I think around this time there was Brezhnev, which was more tolerant.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy, turns out his daughter may have an ability. Deja vu, Magneto.
I've just been in this place before.
Yeah, deja vu. I've been doing
Oh no, birds! What do we do?
Okay,
Birds!
so she has the power of Birdemic, I see.
Oh, so distracted, the guard accidentally killed them.
And...
Also, why did they add bows and arrows, Bo?
So...
I guess...
So, yeah, folks, there you go. Screw
Nina, that's her name.
So, screw the subplot of Magneto's new family. Now they're just dead.
Wait, why? Basically, this is a...
It was an accident, too.
Not just that. This is another woman in the refrigerator with a child character, only for the sake of emotionally manipulating the viewer in regards to Magneto. Not cool.
Like, Brian, we are supposed to be better than X-Men Free the Last Stand.
Not just that. Magneto doesn't need this to progress his character. We can easily get to the same point in a different way without being this insensitive.
I mean, it's a cliche, yeah, but I'm not.
Dweebs, it's not a matter of being a cliche. Like the idea of a woman in a refrigerator, it's not just simply a cliche. It's something that was very problematic for comic book industry in a long time, and everybody is still being kept on by this day with children characters, mind you.
Also,
you guys were asking for comic accuracy.
well, hold on.
No, Dweebs, because that's a straw man, because that's
really
not what happens to many in the comics. So
more
please.
It's not really a straw man, more like a monkey's paw.
Not just that.
Not only that,
leave the actual arguments to those who don't know about comics.
Not only that,
yeah. I'm wondering
let me finish. The whole women's in refrigerator thing wasn't even really a thing exclusive to comics. It was just a thing prominent in them. It was a problem also in other bouts of media too. But my major issue with this isn't just the whole fridging thing. No, my main issue is that it kills rather interesting subplots. Like, hey, an idea of Magneto and a new family here. Oh, sorry, we can't have any new ideas. They gotta go and die.
Okay, well, two things. One, I wonder if that scene just said of Fassbender was either in the script or Fassbender was like, "Damn it, we're doing this again." No.
Would not surprise me.
So Apocalypse wakes up and sees, what a surprise, the world is shit.
And two, again, I fail. I can't really see how they make Magneto and his family really all that exciting.
Well,
Java, I wonder who's this girl.
I do wonder. She has.
Oh,
Not
hi,
to
Storm.
That is actually a thing. Storm does start off
And
as
yes,
a
they
thief.
actually kept her original characterization as a thief.
It's always funny how the ever majestic and Shakespearean-speaking Storm starts off as a petty thief. It's
A street thief.
yeah.
Yeah, shut up.
That said, though, in one of the more baffling decisions, guess what?
Yeah. She's Apocalypse has a rather interest in her. Well, to be fair, he doesn't have that much of a choice. He needs an army and fast. So.
Well, happens to be. Well, is there a time limit? If he doesn't gather the 4 horsemen within like a day, he
No.
dies.
But in his current state, his ambitions cannot proceed that much. He needs to find power and fast
boy.
still.
Well,
So
decapitated by sand.
yes.
That's
Okay,
interesting.
to be fair, sand is like little shards of rock.
It's
so-
similar. It can be similar to how one manipulates water drips. It can be used as a blade.
And now he's
Now
going all
he's-
reality stone on him. Yeah.
He dies by being turned into a wall.
So he's one of those sentinels in there's also below in hell.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I
Now
really
you-
need to
now
stop
you-
doing the
Hold on,
drugs.
Are you all right?
Well, hey, people always say they want to be part of the Earth.
I'm actually more surprised that Charles didn't find Apocalypse conscience with Cerebro when he was scanning for Moira.
It must have been magic.
It's a kind
Hey,
of
hey,
magic.
it's like that scene in Jessica Jones. Yeah, where he has to do is say one vegan.
Also, Ronald Reagan is a photo.
Yeah.
Again, it's 1983.
Yeah, I
so-
know.
We're heading close to that. Actually, yeah, we're in that time frame. Oh, look, she has to wear glasses now. That clearly means she's older.
But she said she hasn't aged today.
I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, okay.
Charles, come on.
Yeah, I had one, but
Oh, let me guess. Either
yeah.
he divorced or died.
we have to focus, man.
Yeah.
We have a plot. We have a plot to focus on. I know it seems a bit messy, but there is still a plot. Uh, in a way.
Ooh.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Either he mind wiped her or she bought that.
But probably both.
Wait, he did mind wiper.
Well, I mean,
Well,
brainwashed
once
the
again.
second time.
But yeah, there you go. She's basically recapping what happened. The fact that Apocalypse had a cult that survived to these days, and apparently they managed to uncover this tomb. And
Oh,
apparently Moira has been de-instigating because she was just needing that sunlight bathing to awaken him.
So yes, good news, folks. This movie does not run on Marvel continuity. Because
Isn't that one that had like the later bits just have like a lot of text over the pictures?
Yes,
The
and it
third
turned
issue
into a whole
specifically,
philosophy thing. And remember how it evolves into Wolverine being the first ever Homo sapien?
Based on an altar.
Wait, so an otter. Wait, so they took PB&J Otter and made it serious?
Basically, Dwibs, apparently Wolverine, the
And there
first
you go.
human...
That's explained also his 4 Knights of Apocalypse.
Or the 4 Horsemen?
Yeah.
Of the apocalypse, get it? Oh.
Yep. Yeah. Either he got it from the Bible or the Bible got it from him.
Read your Bible, I wrote it. Cataclysm.
We know what the movie's called.
We have a title, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, this could be the biggest thing ever.
What are you watching?
Is that Star Trek?
I think so, actually. No.
It looks like Star Trek.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
I am Apollo. You sure it's not Battlestar Galactica?
Oh, hey, Mystique.
Also, she has a Mystique poster.
You want to be someone who gets bored
that's-
of the movies?
That's right, guys. Apparently...
Be careful what you wish, Aurora.
So, apparently now, the butterfly effect made it that Storm is one of Mystique's biggest fans, and I guess Mystique is now just a lone hero.
They probably could have called the movie that, X-Men, the Butterfly
Also,
Effect.
The Wonders of Apocalypse Discovering TV.
So I guess that in this continuity also, after Mystique became Stryker to do something with
And he
Wolverine-
learns the entire English language just by touching a television.
Okay.
Is it any less silly than the Transformers learning languages through the internet?
I mean, at least they had a good amount
Maybe
of
it's like
time on the way
Ultron.
there.
No, it's kind of like Age of Ultron, where Ultron gets connected to the internet for like 10 seconds and immediately decides to destroy humanity, probably because of all the furry porn we had watched.
At least here he's learning about history and the language. Well, history up till the early 80s.
So yeah, well, similar to that, also the Pope, whatever.
Las
Apocalypse-
Vegas.
Apocalypse is watching the entire history of mankind and he's saying, well, looks like the world has gone to shit while I was away. Time to clean the slate. So essentially he's combining, as you pay attention, for MCU terms, he's combining Ultron and Thanos in terms of motivation and
Oh,
goals.
and look at that. They even keep footage from Magneto terrorizing the White House. Because guess this is 10 years after that, as was shown on the monitor. Back in my day, we did all we had to do was just kill a person every time I said
also
so.
Coca-Cola. Gee, this movie is making me thirsty. If only there was something that would quench that.
Okay, if there is, as much as the women getting fridged thing kind of annoys you guys, one thing that annoys me in movies is when they sometimes switch languages in mid dialogue.
But don't you see, Dribs? It's to show that he's learning.
I mean, how would you think it would go if I were talking to you guys? Then all of a sudden I switch to another language.
Bad
can we have some?
Apocalypse.
Can we have some consistency, por favor?
So you mean it's like
Bad
if they
touch.
say "Kunte
Apocalypse. Oh no. Stranger danger.
Bad touch.
So yeah,
Let me dye your hair.
let's have another middle finger to the added to the movie, shall we? Not only Apocalypse is responsible for having Storm having the powers that we know and love, but now Storm is one of the knights, the Horsemen of Apocalypse. No, just no.
Any particular reason why that's a bad thing?
Context. Depending on the setting, of course, because there have been other adaptations, not just comics, but say so in some video games, for example. That's Caliban.
But it's just see, Caliban's gonna age like 30 years in the next movie. Okay, to be fair, that movie does take place.
Yeah, believe it or not, this is foreshadowing for Logan.
From what I understand, actually, they were going to continue this particular version of Caliban in the next movie,
which was supposed to involve Mr. Sinister. Yeah,
but they were also juggling with the Caliban in Logan.
But anyway, Java, the Dweebs, Apocalypse gets surrounded by four horsemen.
Yeah, I know that bit.
Okay, the roles are usually switch. The more commons are Angel, Iceman, sorry, and some others. Storm, as far as I remember, has never been one, and it's one of the choices that makes less sense to be an horseman. So I don't know why this movie tried to do that.
Well, it's like you just said. They switch. They have different horsemen depending on the continuity. So that's not exactly a. I don't think that's a valid reason for why it's a bad idea for Storm to be one of them.
Storm doesn't really
also,
make sense.
Yeah, that bodyguard that bodyguard of Caliban is peculiar.
Well, why doesn't it make sense?
That's Psylocke, another kind of wars, but we'll get back to her later.
Do they share powers or something, and therefore I already need another Storm person?
Well, okay, it's like, well, apparently he gives Storm her abilities, but we already saw in an earlier scene she already has those abilities.
Basically,
so what
no,
the hell?
it's a thing. He amplifies her, basically.
Yeah, like, I mean...
It's an excuse for the movie to have Storm with her grown-up set of powers already, instead of, having to wait.
Which is part of a problem, like, it's artificial character development.
Was a different timeline.
Also Raven.
Like you said, ripple effect.
Well,
regardless of the absurdity of that, which can still work with, it can kind of comes out as a cop-out when you think about it.
Okay.
Sorry, John, go on.
Let me put it like this, Dribs. It kind of cheats us of proper character development. Like, well, here's part of the problem with this whole reboot thing. It feels like they want to have their cake, but eat it too. It's like, yeah, we want to reintroduce these characters, but we don't want to waste all that time having to develop them. So, boom, there you go. Storm now has her full power set.
Go,
boom, there you go. Scott now has his powers, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it feels sloppy.
Like I said at the beginning, it's more the movie jumping, doing the path longer than the leg. Anything.
Well, and again, in hindsight, now that the series is pretty much over.
I mean, okay, even still, that wouldn't have been a good excuse. Like, even
I do wonder if there was legitimate fear that Fox was afraid that Marvel was, biting its throat and wanted to, try to progress as fast as we could.
But that's unfortunately part of the problem. Though, it's like when you give in to that fear, you get stuff like Fan Stick, which was made rushed just to get on the rights deal.
Weren't Marvel, main Marvel, not Marvel Studios, weren't they kind of trying to screw the X-Men over by stopping?
Out of movies, yes, both in video games and the comics, courtesy of Ike Perlmutter.
Yeah, so there we are. There's cocks all around. There you are.
But that doesn't make a good excuse about. But anyway, yes. In case you don't know, in case you were wondering, she's Mystique.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody there is considering that she's supposed to still be Nightcrawler's mother.
Yeah.
He looks like younger Richard O'Brien here from Crystal Maze, or maybe more known to you, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
But anyway, Apocalypse has decided to pay a visit to Caliban himself because he's looking for someone to add to his pile, and that someone is Caliban's bodyguard.
I am here to assign to you an important task. You must take care of Professor X in 40 years.
I hate what they did to Psylocke in this movie so much.
Yeah, like different.
I get it. You don't have the rights to Captain Britain, so you need to cut short her storyline and everything. But this is not the way to do it, guys.
Well, what's the right way to do it then?
Introduce the character gradually instead of actually having her already here with the power, and especially not making her a horseman.
Not only that, but they said they're looking for the strongest. Psylocke is considered one of the strongest. Don't get me wrong, Psylocke's no weakling.
Oh, she has psychokinetic powers and a laser katana, so I can believe that.
Yeah, but I can...
And she has a lightsaber built into her hand.
It's part of her psychokinetic powers, at least the movie got that right.
That said, though, I can think of at least 3 other mutants in this continuity that are more powerful than...
One of them is Iceman. Remember, he's supposed to be like an Omega-level mutant. Why don't you reintroduce him?
Remember, Tia, we don't have... Remember, Tia, we tried the class system out of nowhere at one time and it didn't work, so...
Oh, so is he going to give Psylocke a crazy hairdo, too?
He is
So yeah,
You see,
Apocalypse
guys,
is pretty much
Apocalypse is-
saying, drop this bitch and work for me.
Apocalypse is the world's best hairdresser.
He must
And
be.
pimp.
He doesn't even have to touch you.
When you think about it in this first phase again, Apocalypse is a pimp. He's
So-
recruiting his harem.
So here's one.
Hello, I'm Apocalypse. Welcome to Pimp My Hide.
He's walking
Hey,
around with a
Jubilee!
golden baton as colony.
Oh my God,
Yes,
Jubilee's
that's
actually
Jubilee.
thing.
So
Now
if-
with
so
pigtails for some reason. Oh, so
wasn't
don't you...
she?
Yeah, she
Wasn't Jubilee the one that wasn't Jubilee the one that was the complete useless tool in the cartoon?
She wasn't completely useless. Basically, she started off
She
getting
was
into...
whining a lot, though. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, basically she started off getting into a lot of trouble, but as the series went by, she became more capable. Helped that she
So
was
wait,
getting mentored
does that
by
mean that I
Wolverine.
can hope for Gambit?
No.
Remember, as much as Fox tried, and as much as Channing Tatum wanted it to happen, it didn't happen.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, hey, this is a different interpretation of
Angel,
Angels.
yeah.
He went from rebelling against his dad to rebelling against the system.
And to be fair, this is actually the part of the story of Apocalypse and his Horsemen that is the more accurate. Angel has been, sadly, in-universe sadly, sort of a staple of being one of the Horsemen of Apocalypse, and even when he eventually goes back to being a good guy, always has an interior conflict about that period that he had.
So,
working
does he
for
turn
him.
him into Archangel in this version?
Yes, I think so.
Angel, I know your last appearance wasn't all that great, but there's no need to start drinking over it.
I understand. I need more bottle. Oh, fuck me.
See, whereas for Storm, he gave her a new hairdo. Now he'll give him some new wings.
But first, we have to take those other ones off.
Yeah, break you to make you.
Okay.
No, it's you. It's the X-Men series. We're gonna make you invincible, but first, I'm gonna have to destroy you.
It really does feel like that. Yeah, do we ever establish where Wolverine is during all this?
Yes.
Yeah, we see Wolverine later on.
Of course.
He's currently having the Weapon X Pro. Remember, it was gotten by Stryker at the end of the previous movie.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, though. Wasn't Stryker replaced by Mystique during that scene because we saw his eyes flash yellow?
So yeah, because now it's edgy, Knights of Apocalypse. Now Angel has metal wings.
And they can shoot metal feathers.
Yeah.
I guess they're like bullets. Yeah.
Dude, this is the
Flechette
coolest.
Storm, that's the term they use.
Now, here's one question I have. Why is Storm on board with any of this? Like,
I have no idea.
Like, okay, I could buy it if maybe, she was brainwashed, but that's the thing, though. Storm, while a thief, was never someone who was into this whole conquest thing. Like, I can get how he convinced Psylocke and Angel, given their
look at
backstories
that.
here, but, oh yeah, they're working on a new jet.
But yeah, as you can see, the team is almost complete. Apocalypse needs only one Horseman, so who's gonna be? Place your bets, audience.
That's
the answer may surprise you.
That said, though, anyone notice how we're almost an hour into this movie and it doesn't feel like, we've really,
done much?
I mean, we're doing a lot of setup.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of setup. It's just that it kind of feels like setup doesn't really have a proper beat to its drum.
I think a problem with the movie is that I mean, setup is important for a movie. But if you do it too much, it'll just end up becoming it'll become rather bogged down, and yeah, it'll end up, and it has the danger of making it a bit of a
like I said, it's the movie jumping the gun. There would have been nothing wrong with this movie just being establishing and then the next one being the conflict against Apocalypse. Because remember, after cleaning the slate with Days of Future Past, there was a fertile ground where to put the new mutants, because this movie is doing that. He's introducing Scott, Jean, and all the others on the X-Mansion.
Hello, former employees.
That it clearly needed a bit more time.
It really does feel like a lot.
There's really been like an intermediate movie where this happened, and then Apocalypse happened.
Yeah.
I only one thing to say. Fuck you.
Okay, so yeah, instead of having, scenes with Magneto, I don't know, maybe teaching his daughter how to use her powers, let's have another scene where he goes crazy and kills people, because we haven't had enough of that.
The movie is intended to fuck over Magneto's life just to incite tears to the viewer.
Well, I mean, how he even said earlier on, is this who I'm meant to be?
Tibbs, it's funny that you asked what could possibly be interesting about Magneto and his family, because, there's actually a lot of comics about that, with him dealing with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and let's just say, those are more interesting plot ideas than what this movie is doing with him. Like, imagine if we just killed his children right out the gate. Oh, wait.
I'm not Henrik. I'm
That
Eric.
man is dead.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
What is that line? What is that line from Return of the Jedi?
That name no longer has any meaning for me.
There you go.
Oh. Howdy.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Magneto is the fourth horseman.
No,
I
this
shouldn't
is
even tell you why
stupid.
this is wrong, but just to be clear, Magneto doesn't work for anyone, especially one like Apocalypse. Even if you want to put he's biding his time to betray his master, that type of story doesn't fit the character of Magneto at all.
Okay. There was sort of a plot line like...
What the fuck?
What is it?
Don't you just hate when you don't you just hate when you're going through a level and you clip through the floor?
Yeah, I hate that. It's like when I'm playing a video game.
It's like Sonic 06, where Roger Van der Rijs parody. Come on,
Or
Sonic! Oh no, I'm clipping through the floor.
Well, there's also Superman 64.
Also, I love how Apocalypse gave Psylocke that ever doofy
traditional costume. Yeah.
But he didn't give her the hairdo, surprisingly.
I can only use my barbershop powers once.
Like, okay, again, here's part of the problem I have with some of the mutants he's chosen. Storm has...
Auschwitz!
Oh,
yeah, so basically Apocalypse is giving Magneto his ultimate power fantasy. Because that's what he's doing.
Hey, Magneto, you remember
Brings
Auschwitz?
back memories, don't it?
Anyway, I think I get your point, Joe. Basically, Magneto's not really the kind of guy that would... He's not Starscream.
Yeah. It's also kind of why Storm doesn't really work in this context either, seeing as how this goes against her character too.
I mean, that's the interesting thing, though. Whenever I hear, not just this movie, but in general, MCU or X-Men or Spider-Man or whatever, there's been so many different continuities in comics that it's kind of hard, really, to say who's really definitive person or the definitive.
The six. Well, honestly, it leaves the main one, the 616, when it comes to Marvel. That's your general guideline.
See, here's
and numbers like that don't really help either. They keep giving them weird number names, like it's a freaking spy agency code for a mission.
See, here's basically the guideline, Glibs. We treat movies like we do Elseworld stories, whereas, yes, it's technically a different continuity, but for the most part, the idea is to keep characters in core.
It's the same reason. It's the same reason that while not being part of the main continuity for obvious reason, Batman killing in Batman v Superman still is very, very wrong.
Heck, it's the reason why JLA Act of God is as panned as much as it is. Yes, it may be a different universe, but it's suggesting that the modern characters
the gist is this, Lips. Just because it's an Elseworld story doesn't give you the excuse to be an asshole towards the characters that have, legacy behind them.
I love that bit. I'm terribly sorry I couldn't help your parents. I was asleep. I overslept.
It's all the world's fault for keeping me asleep, If I were alive, I would have killed those guys just properly.
So essentially, because Apocalypse takes advantage of Magneto's emotional state and is expanding his powers as well. Because Magneto wasn't OP enough. So.
Is there metal in the ground?
Yes, technically. It's kind of
like the Earth's core, I guess?
It's kind of like, yes, because, that's a bit of foreshadowing, but yes, this story is also taking inspiration from Ultimatum.
Yeah.
Why? I don't get it.
Like, of all the storylines, okay, look, I know
But we'll get to it later on, because right now it's just for testing Magneto here. So let me get instead this straight. Yes, Dweebs, it's similar to how when Toph discovered metal bending, in Avatar: Last Airbender. Technically speaking, there are magnets in the Earth. You just need to find them.
I guess that's his power fantasy, destroying Auschwitz.
Yep, exactly what I said.
So Apocalypse is essentially undoing all the hard work we did in first class, teaching Magneto to use his powers with love, not hatred.
Well, to be fair, when you stick him in the middle of Auschwitz, where a lot of his people died, that would kind of piss you off too.
Congratulations, Michael. Your screams are legendary.
Storm, was the lightning bolt really necessary? And yes, folks, I will be blaming every weather thing in this on Storm when she's present in the scene.
But I wanted to have a bit of the pie.
Maybe it's that time of the month, Joseph. Young John Travolta, what are you doing here? Oh, actually, it looks more like Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
And Magneto has a dick this small.
Oh, hi, Quicksilver.
Hey, are we gonna decide whether or not that is your dad yet, Sport?
Also, Miss Pac-Man. So I guess Namco Bandai allowed some copyright for this movie?
Well, I think it was in the last movie.
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting as well, because this is a year removed when it turned out that, comparing this to the MCU's version of Magneto might not be entirely accurate, considering, well...
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
No, it's referred to Quicksilver, Jova.
Oh, man.
Comparing the two wouldn't have been very accurate, considering that one lasted only 1 minute.
Yeah.
Hey!
Although I still have, potential, not hopes, but wonder if WandaVision will try doing something about it.
If so, can you bring back this one?
That would be interesting.
I like this one better.
Well, it's like I mentioned before. Gee, guys, where have we seen this before? Showing Magneto's children off only to kill them upon their first debut film. There's this movie, and then there's also Age of Ultron.
Well, in Age of Ultron, Magneto doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, technically speaking.
Yeah, yet.
Well, you know what I mean, though. It's like, killing off one of the Magneto children, as they tend to be called.
This season.
Oh, Return of the Jedi.
This scene's interesting. What they say at the end of it.
Guys.
The third one's always the worst, eh?
Oh, boy.
It's not a good time to mention we're recording this like a month and a half before Rise of Skywalker is out in the theaters, and I don't want to touch that with a 6-foot pole.
And
although
in the context of the
oh boy. Although the context of the X-Men is also kind of awkward.
It's funny.
Yeah, that too.
It's funny. According to this movie, that means that Rise of Skywalker...
This movie itself is the world, because this is technically the third movie in the continuity, well, not continuity, but of the young First Class saga, yeah.
Not only that, but this was not too long after Fox lost all the Star Wars rights to Disney, so definitely better for
except the movies that were released before
before the original cut.
When it comes to the original cuts. And not only that, but this also suggests that Rise of Skywalker is going to be the worst of the new trilogy. So
it's kind of weird, though, because if you ask me, oh god, I forgot. Episode 3 is probably the most savageable to me of the prequel trilogy, but I don't want to turn this into a Star Wars rant, so let's just move on.
That's the general consensus, really. Anyway, I'll be out. Yeah.
I wonder if they... What? Okay, here's the thing about Mystique. Her character tends to change from movie to movie. Like, you may recall in First Class, she was generally an upbeat girl who was learning about, being proud of her mutant kindship. And then came Days of Future Past, where she was on a
psychopathic murderer.
And now in this movie, she's back to hiding her face because I don't want to be the face of a world that doesn't even exist,
And just you wait until Dark Phoenix, wink wink.
Oh god, Dark Phoenix, whoops. Oh god, we're doing this crap again.
Yeah.
I love that look he gives. It's like, oh
It's
god.
like, not this shit again.
Eric can just never catch a break, can he?
So let's give a look for him.
You did in a past life, but now not anymore. Oh no. Are you telling me that he based the
Beast,
color of Cerebro on Mystique?
That's a fetish, and you know it.
Oh my god. Did we really? So there you go, folks. All this time, Cerebro was blue because of Mystique. It's nice.
That's stupid.
I mean, I can't tell if this is supposed to be.
That's just as stupid as saying when Nick Fury got his eye scratched by a cat.
You know, I can't tell if this was meant to be a part of the butterfly affected timeline or if this was always how it was, and Hank just never shared that with anyone because that's kind of embarrassing.
Come on, come out.
Wherever you are.
Don't be a bad boy. Also, Italy is apparently very sparkly today.
Nice. I wonder if there are any Italian mutants.
No. Even in the comics, Italian characters are very scarce.
Oh my god, what is that Hot Topic haircut he gave to Archangel?
No, not just that. Apocalypse is creating super edgy armors for all of them.
Okay, weird design.
I
Dwibs. Basically, apparently Hank made Cerebro blue because he based it off of Mystique's skin.
That's so romantic.
Interesting choice.
That was...
By romantic, I mean creepy. Is
Eric?
this lost? We had something, you know.
We used to be.
Oh yeah, I can help.
We were playing chess with you together, and by chess I mean sex.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they probably would have wanted to live.
But no, some prick with a bow and arrow got careless.
Those dirty Soviets.
Are they Soviets? They were just like Polish police.
You know,
It could be. That would probably justify the bow and arrow as something like the Soviet government wanted.
Well, yeah. Mystique even said earlier, you know, they were along with a handful of police, not Soviet soldiers.
Yeah. You know, I get.
Uh-oh. Looks like Apocalypse has busted, Charles.
Oh joy.
Get me the fuck out of here.
You know, one thing that you know,
no. Apocalypse, what did we say about Bad Touch?
Uh-oh. Hey, Archangel, what are you wearing on your face, boy?
You know, one thing that's interesting with these
Dreams, what does the scanner is saying about Apocalypse power level?
Yeah, we got that joke.
It's complete BS.
But anyway, one thing that's interesting about, you know, doing commentaries on comic book series, you know, film series, is the different perspectives we can bring. Like in your case, you two read comics. I don't. I'm just the average moviegoer that likes watching these movies.
Oh shit.
Oh no, he's making it into the cover of the DVD for Avengers Endgame.
Oh no.
Where it's all purple.
Oh dear.
Again? Well, okay, technically not again. It'll happen in an alternate future, but I digress.
Yeah, it's Joe. I think Cerebro needs a.
Yeah, it really does.
Oh no! Wait! Fireballs didn't exist in 1983. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I hate submarines. You know, hang on. If
no more stones? Do you mean the Infinity Stones?
Hang on, you're an X-Men villain. Should you be wrecking a bridge?
Uh-oh.
So thanks to possessing Cerebro, now Apocalypse can do whatever the fuck he wants, like launching the entirety of the nuclear arsenal of Earth.
Overpowered nuts?
Well, he is going through Professor X.
And to think
you've
this
got
guy
superpowers.
will later go on to become Poe from Star Wars.
He was Poe at this point.
Well, to be fair,
Oh,
and while
God,
I
that's
don't
right.
remember specifically the title of his classic music, I think it's very fitting for the scene. So kudos to that.
Oh, hi, Stanley.
Is that
Hey, Stan,
With
they
his
finally
wife,
got you into a Fox movie.
with his wife,
again.
nonetheless?
Well, he was in Deadpool. Remember that came before this movie.
All right, you're finally in another X-Men movie.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on? So, Stryker, do you have anything to say about it? Nope. Then.
I'm just trying to remember what happened when that yellow-eyed copy of me came about.
Oh. Yeah, you kind of these speeches like this. Ever since I saw Dungeons and Dragons, when that guy said, "Thieves always taking what doesn't belong to you." Ever since I saw that bit, these kinds of speeches in any movie just seems a bit silly.
Oh no, guys, we have to destroy Cerebro again. Ah! Wreak havoc! Get it? We called you Havoc, so we want you to wreak havoc. It's not really the time to be making jokes, Xavier.
It's not working.
Don't worry, guys. We'll rebuild Cerebro.
Again. Seriously, man, we have a lot of problems with Cerebro.
How much does it cost to repair that thing?
Now, if you're thinking, well, shit, Apocalypse is way too overpowered, please Nintendo Nerf, it's legit, guys. That's exactly the kind of threat that he's supposed to be.
Which, I'll admit, is a pretty good threat to set up. There's just one little problem, though. Any threat after Apocalypse is gonna seem like small beans after this movie.
Well, unless there's some guy who could build like 60 Death Stars.
To be fair, Jova, if ideally Fox still had the rights, we could have got something like, again, Mr. Sinister or Annihilus, maybe, or the Shi'ar Empire.
You know, again, it's interesting. Yeah, watching Poe play someone who's play someone who's not like Poe at all.
But, however, it's time for the signature scene, the one that everybody remembers. Quicksilver's untimely coincidental arrive at the X-Mansion is fortuitous.
And singing Sweet Dreams from...
while eating a Twinkie.
Hey guys, we're just partying after seeing Return from the Jedi. Return of the Jedi.
Everybody's looking for something.
Boop, boop, boop.
Yep.
Time to get to work.
Now think about it like this. He's speeding while he's already speeding, so is that like double extra speed?
Possible. And, I mean, to be fair, there are no major limits to Quicksilver's powers, similar to the Flash in the DC universe, so we can do pretty much whatever we want.
Aren't you forgetting someone?
Oh, Gene,
Oops.
yes, we couldn't forget you.
Whoop.
Well done, the seventh sea. Sorry, it's just a catchy song. And then, yeah, of course, you got to save the goldfish.
Of course, why don't you? But yeah, unfortunately, as much as this scene is cool, that unfortunately means that the X-Mansion gets destroyed in the process.
Again! Okay, Cerebro or the Xavier Mansion, maybe the problem is you. Oh.
I don't think it got destroyed in X-Men 2, just more like it got ransacked.
These two were trying to making out awkwardly. Or rather, he was trying to.
Yeah, and even he's like...
With a mattress.
Yeah, see, this scene alone is why I don't really hate this.
Well, I can't blame you. This scene is awesome. You know, actually,
The thing is that it can be potentially out of context. Any kind of villain could have done the same. It could have been inserted in any other kind of movie villain context. Would have been the same thing.
You know, now that I think about it, now we have our own overpowered hero to counter Apocalypse. Like, I guess all we need to just do is have Quicksilver.
Okay, you're not. Is he trying to be the Silver Surfer?
That would be cute.
Quicksilver
look, he's wearing
is the Silver Surfer.
I mean, why has no one ever done that in the comics?
What do you mean?
Have Quicksilver be the Silver Surfer.
Oh, that's the thing. The Silver Surfer, table thing, the vehicle that he's using. The Silver Surfer vehicle is actually a very powerful artifact, so controlling it requires a lot of control. Aside from maybe Doctor Doom, I don't remember who also managed to control it.
Yeah.
Well, this is an awkward thing to come back to.
Oh. Yeah. This is the day where they persuaded Jennifer Lawrence to wear the makeup.
Oh, right. I almost forgot. Yeah, she hasn't been wearing that makeup for a lot of time. Aww. Don't you see, Mystique? There is a world that we can be in. Now, could you please get done with this BS character development and get back to, being Mystique? Basically, you missed it, but apparently Mystique in this continuity doesn't like to show off being blue because she doesn't want to show a world that can't exist.
Never mind the fact that we had the entirety of First Class with Magneto lusting her real appearance.
Which is surprising to me. I've already gone after Rebecca Remigin.
I said the real Mystique. Perfection.
But I think Quicksilver missed us.
Oh, God, really?
Oops. I mean, he was in a rush.
So, yeah, there you go, guys.
Yet another character of a First Class killed by Bryan Singer because he wasn't part of the OG trilogy.
I don't think he was in First Class, was he?
He was in First Class.
Yes, Lives.
What are you unzipping? What are you unzipping?
And at the worst possible moment, Stryker has to come in and being a giant dick. Why?
Wait, hold on. It says that it's medical assistance, so maybe it's okay.
He's Stryker.
Then again,
Stryker, whenever he has I don't think he's even ever tried to be subtly about being a good person. Even when he tried to be a friend to Wolverine X-Men Origins, he was clear as day when he was a bad guy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, crap.
Quicksilver, you wanna try to do your speed magic trick again?
Well,
Guess
we have
sound suppressors.
He wants Moira? Oh, and him.
Beast
Quicksilver.
And Quicksilver. And especially Mystique.
Yes, I remember. She dressed up as me. It was very embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna forget that. Yeah. Just leave the kids lying there.
Why?
Surprised that he didn't say to kill them.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't take them all. Like he. Oh my God! Just like an X-Men too.
Well, Jover, if he's trying to advance his, I don't think murder's gonna help it, really, is it?
Unfortunately, Jubilee does not get to partake in the action, despite the fact that they've been kind of showing her.
Also, yeah, Jean Grey uses the same trick that Charles did in First Class to masquerade them. That's a nice touch.
I mean, she has similar powers to Professor X, doesn't she?
So I guess part of the butterfly effect now made X-Men 2 happen earlier. I mean, we have Stryker once again coming onto the base.
Yes, Joe, it's totally because of butterfly effect, not because we want to rush things.
Yeah, that too again.
Yeah.
This is a subplot we really did not need, but here it is. Convenient that he just happened to show up. I guess you could say he showed up under the pretense of there being medical assistance.
And it's not working.
Well, I think Stryker put some mutant suppressors.
It said there's an electrical field.
Scott, you could just blow it up.
Yeah, but
Well,
then
remember it. Well, if Well, if it's not too crazy to think that if it affected those two, it might affect this field might affect his powers as well.
So I wonder why he leaves all of the other kids who are probably mutants.
Well, again, it's like I said earlier, if he killed them, that would kind of put a bit of a
Jubilee.
damp.
Hey, Jubilee, you're still not going to
that
get
would,
to do anything. Sorry, Dweeb, what were you saying?
Like I was saying, Jover, if he committed murder on a bunch of kids, even if they are mutants, that would kind of put a bit of a dampener on his
Imply that he
cause.
didn't try something like that before. Remember, Dweebs, in X-Men Origins Wolverine, he kills a superior official just to get his position better.
But again, yeah, there's superior officials, not kids, in full public daylight.
That's basically meaning that Stryker doesn't look in the face to anyone for his purposes.
Well, that kind of bit him in the arse at the end of that movie as well.
Only
Well,
to be
it's funny,
rectified
Dweeb,
before X2.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget, apparently, despite getting caught for that, he's A-okay to do whatever in X-Men 2.
Well, it's the US government, Jover.
It's the Marvel Universe, Dweebs. They have messed up priorities.
They have really wacky standards.
Yeah.
That's not even the half of it, but yeah. I know what everybody feels. Gene, nope, Gene, no. Let's just stick to one set of powers, thank you very much.
Well, she said earlier, everyone first. Maybe she has a point.
Let me put it like this. For as much as Apocalypse's powers may be overpowered, it is still not as much the mess that Jean Grey's powers that is.
You shall not pass!
Oh, look, we're being taken to the mountains. Doesn't this seem familiar?
Yes, we're going there.
Alkali Lake.
Yes, the fucking dam all over again.
Okay, do we really need to do this again? I mean, I'm sorry.
We pretty much stopped for this subplot.
I'm sorry, Dweebs. Wasn't this movie called X-Men Apocalypse, not X-Men Side Stories?
Let me check something quick.
If anything, again, if you remove...
Oh, we're like an hour away from the end.
Yeah.
If we remove Apocalypse from the equation and have Stryker being the villain again, I wouldn't have this much complaint and have Apocalypse being the villain of a movie after this.
Like, that's part of the problem. There's so many side plots that take away from Apocalypse. Like, let's compare this to Infinity War. Infinity War has a lot of plots going on, but they all center around Thanos himself.
And things that were established up until that point.
Whereas this, though, Apocalypse is just one of the many, many, many plots going on.
Join me, and together we can put an end to this endless conflict and rule over the galaxy.
What exactly?
Eric!
The friendship we had!
I can't believe you betrayed me for Blue Shrek.
You betrayed me for that reckless dude from Star Wars Episode 7 who was supposed to die but ends up living at the last second. We had something.
Oh no!
My family is dead!
Jesus Christ.
Edgy.
Ah.
Hey, Hank! Oh my god, we're in the Matrix! It's all green and black.
But where are the Wachowskis?
Stryker is a what? He's a peeper.
Yeah.
Oh, nice being promoted.
I'm not even a mutant, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Well,
to be
haven't
fair,
you read
by the time of this movie, she was in the comics, so it's legit.
But don't you see, Tia, they were building up to it all along, so said the comics. Oh, God. Yeah, okay. While I do prefer comics in some regards, I don't blame you for being wary of them, Dweebs. Comics can be a mess.
Well, it's hard to keep. It's like, well, knowing.
That's why you should just. That's why if you have trouble with continuity, you should just focus on one-shot Hellsworth stories. Those are more easy to follow and enjoy.
Knowing my luck, I'll probably end up buying a Superman comic, then buying another one, thinking it's the sequel, even though it isn't.
Oh God! Do not even get me started on how, for some reason, certain plots go over different comics. Like, for instance, Rib, sometimes they'll have a storyline going on in Superman number 212, so you'd think that the story would continue in Superman 213, but no, actually it continues in Action Comics number 200.
This is best exemplified by the Clone Saga of Spider-Man, because Spider-Man was having like 5 issues going on at the same time back then, but I'm diverging from the topic. Angel, what the fuck are you wearing?
It's like I said, like, I get that as Archangel he tends to look different, but dude, this is just silly. Like, just give him the metal wings and the metallic.
I wanted to be Quicksilver, but they wouldn't let me, so I just painted my suit silver.
And again, as much as I appreciate that Psylocke has powers and costume faithful to the comic book version, in terms of personality and how she's introduced to the story and the series, because believe me, aside from a cameo in Last Stand, this is her first major appearance and only, basically, she's treated so horribly.
Oh, but guys, they gave Nightcrawler the filler jacket. Isn't that nice? Hey, guys, get it? Originally in X-Men Origins Wolverine, Scott needed help to break out, but now he's the one inducing the breakout. Butterfly effect.
Deflect?
Yes, it's a new term for this cluster fudge of a story.
Deflect.
Again, you know, I mean, that's just the thing. It's like, well, like Dwibs mentioned, there are a lot of good things about this movie, some funny scenes here and there. The problem is that when you get to this part of the movie, it's hard to decide what the plot is. I mean, yes.
It's like I said, it doesn't gel well together. I mean, in terms of comic book movies that try to jam in a lot of stuff.
So, hold on, Dweebs, because I think this is important, though. The fact that Peter finally admits about Magneto being Spider and everything, but go on.
Oh, that's
anyway,
nice.
As I was saying, you know, in terms of comic book movies that try to jam in a lot of stuff, but it doesn't really gel together at the end, this isn't the worst one I've seen. I mean, I've seen Spider-Man 3 and I've seen Iron Man 2.
Honestly,
you know, Iron Man 2 was the worst one of those because it wasn't even fun.
Honestly,
okay, Dweebs, watch it then in the context of, you know, as the new Fresh Start started with, you know, the First Class and then Days of Future Past. This is the first step immediately after that, you know, refresh, and it's a step in the longest direction possible. But anyway, Apocalypse is using Charles' power to communicate to the rest of the world, while Charles is sort of sneaking in a message to Jean, I think.
Yeah, quick everyone, wear a helmet.
if I'm to be honest, Dweebs, when it comes to mission on the...
People in the Vatican are confused.
I guess. So, they're probably thinking, what, is this the responsibility of those gosh darn Vius for Vendetta?
I mean, and hey, his power is so awesome, it can change language depending on where you are.
It's just
how
awesome.
did Apocalypse not hear that?
I guess it was too busy.
If I'm to be honest, when I compare this to stuff like Iron Man 2 or Spider-Man 3, I definitely consider it worse than Spider-Man 3 and on par with Iron Man 2. Like, okay, like Tio said, put this into the context of, you know, this new continuity that we're establishing. Like, at least with Spider-Man 3, we knew who Spider-Man was well throughout here and there. And at least with Iron Man 2, it was just focusing on Tony's character as opposed to trying to set up all these characters whatsoever. I mean, yes, it was trying to set up for them, but at the very least, it wasn't responsible for them all. This, though, this movie, again, this is technically like the third one in this newer age here and there. Like, you know, for this movie, we need to help set up this new universe, you know, introduce us to all these new characters. The problem is that they're kind of pulling a... Where was I? Alright, they're kind of pulling an Iron Man 2 of sorts, where they're just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks, while Bryan Singer is, of course, killing what he doesn't like.
Well, you know me, Dover, I'm a simple man.
Yes. I know. What I'm
Should
saying...
have used an excuse, remember. Well.
Yeah, it's
well,
not...
we all have different expectations. If we all had the same... I mean, the only one I can understand everyone having is expecting someone to be entertaining. and or good.
That's
Oh,
part of the-
what's that sound?
Oh.
But if we all had to say one in different areas,
Oh,
then
an
I feel like a
animal.
freaking hive mind.
Jova, an animal, you say?
Well, we had to get this guy in the movie somehow.
He's handsome.
I feel this weird sense to start stringing him and Scott along. But we can't show him because Hugh Jackman wasn't available.
Actually, Jova.
Oh.
Ooh. Let's set loose the Wolverine.
For the hunk and all his fans to see.
I wonder how many people only came to the movie to see Wolverine.
It's called
Yeah, I know
Wolverine.
the Wolverine effect. Yeah.
Actually, no, I
Wolverine
think just
publicity.
here for Godzilla.
Well, no. Actually, too, there's a TV show called Wolverine Publicity, I believe.
And yes,
Oh my
he's
God, he
actually
has
having
it!
the Weapon X helmet, although a bit less bulky.
Yeah, I
Complete
thought
with the
he was wearing.
adamantium.
I thought he was wearing explosives or something.
Oh, snap.
So yeah, that's the perfect distraction for our heroes.
Don't worry, guys.
Also, no
We can
traces
get.
of blood.
Don't worry, guys. Let's get the agent who could.
Okay,
shoot
there
really
is some
well.
blood. Okay. It's weird, folks, because right now we're actually also commenting on the X-Men Origins Wolverine video game, and there's so much blood in that one.
Yeah. Sorry, you see, sorry, Wolverine, we
It's
can't have
kinda
as much
funny
blood as we
because
had in the Wolverine.
It's kind of funny because the sequence is actually mimicking the event in that game where Wolverine has to escape the Weapon X program. You will see when we'll get to it.
Get a good shot for the ladies and the fanboys and the gentlemen.
Oof.
Did you get my good side, bub? Because your good side's about to be laying on the floor.
So I gotta love how Wolverine in this movie doesn't have to talk; he just grows around a bit and kills some people.
Yeah,
and then
I don't think
talks.
I don't think he actually speaks a lot.
No, I think he just grunts and that's it.
I wonder.
Mind you, I think was he Chapman busy with Logan at this point?
I think so.
Yeah, he was doing Pan as well.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's right. He was in Pan. Oh God, yes, where he played Blackbeard. Wow, I don't know about you guys, but something about this hunk really gets me interested. Gene, is it really that time of a month?
Oof.
Besides Gene, he's already married, so bad luck.
No, he's not.
Okay,
If
Striker,
anything,
do you
his silver
seriously
fox
think
is
you can
dead.
take on Weapon X alone? Do you have again those magical mind-raising adamantium bullets?
Wouldn't you be
Like-
surprised if they kept that?
Hi, Logan.
Oh, Gene can help him. Wait, is this why? Wait,
Okay, in this context, it's kind of creepy.
wait,
Yeah.
wait. Let me guess. He recognizes her from the past life, I guess. As in, that's his subconscious that will awaken by the end of Days of Future Past. I'm guessing.
Okay, if there is one thing, this is the start of the era, this little era of the series where they don't just rely on Wolverine, because
Yeah.
Deadpool didn't really. This film only
Even
has
though
been
Ryan
seen.
really wanted.
Well, to be fair, didn't we sort of start doing that with, like, First Class?
Well, Days of
Although
Future
I-
Past entirely relied on that.
Well, true, yeah.
Well, not for the climax.
Now, we'll just send him on
Logan.
his merry way, because eventually... Wait, oh my god, this kind of I know that it was already the case, but this kind of makes the fact that he's going to eventually lust after her kind of creepy.
Yeah, I know. I said that. It's kind of creepy. Ew. Oh yeah, he's got the thing. Yeah. Again, this is one of the this is the penultimate appearance of Hugh Jackman as Wolvie.
It's a shame. It's a shame. It's kind of a shame he couldn't have showed up at the end of Dark Phoenix to help things be a tail end to help connect stuff to.
So, that movie had already a lot of problems between the reshoots and the rewrites as well.
We didn't need to took in Wolverine.
Not just that, I'm pretty sure him inserting himself into it will make things more confusing.
Well, okay, let's not forget. When he wakes up in Days of Future Past, he's become like a teacher at the Xavier School, so technically that would have been a proper bookend.
Right, there's our Hugh Jackman out of the way.
Yeah.
We'll never hear from him again, I'm sure, guys.
Well, at least they kept it. He's a Christian.
Yeah. Can't hear them.
Yeah, just press the microphone button. There.
You know, I think I realize what this feels like. This feels like a miniature version of X-Men 2's plot. We've got the scene with Wolverine escaping here and there. We've got the scene with the mutants getting kidnapped here and there. We even got the scene with Nightcrawler, too.
I got love how he looks at this.
He didn't even count to 3.
It's typical, Dwebs. Countdowns
Yeah,
never work out.
It's like that bit in Harry Potter where you have a bit at the end of the beginning of the third task where Dumbledore tries to give the cue to Filch to fire the cannon, but he even gets to 3. I was like, oh, the count of 3, 1.
So I guess we're to assume Wolvie just went the other way then.
Yeah.
Also, Stryker, aren't you going to do something about your Weapon X escaping?
No, he's just fucking off.
Well, he doesn't seem that broken up about it, considering all that big project and task. Oh wait, that's right, Apocalypse is in this movie.
Not for nothing, Apocalypse about Rome was supposed to be the center of the universe, so lay it on your ego.
Is it sad that this movie feels like it was building more up to that scene with Wolverine than it does feel like it's actually building up to the scene with Apocalypse? If only because well, it's like I said, the whole attention gets pulled away from Apocalypse so much. Also, don't worry, folks, it's just Egypt that's getting hurt this time, not New York.
Still, though, Egypt getting destroyed will be a bit of a bummer, so we have to kind of intervene.
You know, it kind of makes me realize we don't see Egypt get destroyed that much in superhero movies.
Yeah, hang on. It's an X-Men movie and they're not destroying a bridge.
Not just that, the climax is not in a Vancouver forest.
Wow.
I would be surprised.
Actually, no, I think they did destroy a bridge, we just missed it.
And from the ashes comes his new kingdom. Are you compensating for something, dude?
So
seriously?
Spikes.
Okay, Apocalypse?
Okay, I get the feeling this is Oscar Isaac trying to make up for the fact that he doesn't play a Jedi in Star Wars. Okay, so that plane is not exactly.
That's a thing, I guess. It's kind of a shame we couldn't have flown the black jet that we were setting up in the original movie, but whatever.
How convenient, the uniforms.
I wonder why you'd need uniform at this point. I mean, it's kind of an emergency, you know.
I guess to set up for the final fight. Yeah, I got nothing. It really just feels like the movie is just going, yeah, we need.
Yeah, here, have a helmet, Christmas present.
Oh look, I know it's exactly like your helmet, but think of it like, the proper present to remind you who you are, son. And it's totally not just
Alright, it's time. It's time.
Oh boy.
Have the shout out to Ultimatum. Now, to be perfectly fair, this movie has a better excuse and a better setup for what Magneto is about to do than Ultimatum. It's still a bit aggravating when they decide to reference that kind of story about.
Wow, what are the?
But hold on, I'm about to say it. But I will say that at least the movie tries to make things better, kind of like what Civil War did for the comics. Essentially, Apocalypse is going to convince Magneto to use his power to alter the magnetic poles of Earth and cause unnatural disasters.
Ignoring the fact that that's not how it even works to doom the world, but I digress. Check out Linkar's review, you'll get what I mean.
So anyway, how is it better here than it was there?
Because there's a better context. In this case, Magneto's power are amplified, and Apocalypse and Magneto are explaining what he's about to do in the actual comic book Ultimatum story. He just has Mjolnir because he can just do that because, and doesn't even explain until like 2/3 into the story because.
Also they don't have the rights to Mjolnir. Yes.
Well, basically,
you know what I mean with even as a MacGuffin.
Basically, Dweebs, Ultimatum is a story where a lot, and I mean a lot of people die.
Pointlessly.
Yeah, basically, Magneto, angered by the death of his children, sound familiar, starts to go pretty much on a screw the entire world mentality, steals Thor's hammer.
And the thing is, the entire thing was accidentally staged up by Doctor Doom in the end.
Yep.
Not even kidding. Did I mention that the Ultimate Universe was a bad thing and it's a good thing when now they completely erased it?
I mean,
so here I guess it's a case of, Apocalypse just wants to start the world over, so he's going to flatten everything and
Yeah, not to mention, it kind of makes sense considering 1 year before Fan Four Stick was trying to be based on the Fantastic Four, Ultimate origins.
That film was such a disaster.
Remember, guys, it was totally worth it to make that film to redeem the rights so that Fox could keep
Remember when Fan Four Stick was supposed to be in the same continuity as the new X-Men movies?
However, when the bad reception and the poor box office happened, that kind of torpedoed any chance of that.
Who'd have thought that X-Men would get an even worse box office with another movie? But we're not talking about Dark Phoenix just yet.
Well, that costs more, didn't it?
Well, it's not only that, but it made less money.
This was still a success, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why we got a couple of later films in the series. I thought that was Jeremy Irons.
Who do you think Jeremy Irons would play in the X-Men movies?
Magneto?
Maybe they'll have him play Magneto in the MCU.
That would be cool.
It would also continue the trend of DC actors eventually coming to join up with MCU, or vice versa.
I wonder if that's happened, actually.
Yeah, quite a few times.
Lawrence Fishburne.
I meant MCU going to DC.
Oh, MCU going to DC. Yeah, that's happened a few times too.
God damn it, my ships are
No, my Amazon order.
80s. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's the scene every X-Men film should have.
Do it, Magneto. You want to... Oh, come on! That was like they were teasing us. Come on, you want to do it.
Yeah, come on. Is there
the
a
next
comics reason as to what it has?
I don't know.
So here's another problem with this movie. Those four Apocalypse, those four Horsemen Apocalypse has? Yeah, they haven't really gotten to do much in this movie, have they?
No, they are only useful for the final fight, and that's it.
What?
It's so aggravating, especially for Psylocke.
And Storm. I mean, again, you have Storm.
At least with Storm, that's the thing, Joe. At least with Storm, you say, the character was in the previous movie, so at least fans have a more way to recognize her. Not so much for Psylocke. Also, since what I mentioned before about Apocalypse needs to body surf, he's gonna try to insert himself in the body of Charles.
I guess that'll automatically give him Charles's abilities too.
Well, yeah, that would be a bit of a that'll be a bit of a pick.
But wait, hold on. Wouldn't that mean that Apocalypse would need a wheelchair then?
With his powers, I don't think so.
He's Apocalypse, Joe. He could probably just mend. He could probably just bend.
Oh no, this is the climax of Gods of Egypt
No. It's not just that. It's the climax of Gods of Egypt mixed in with the ending of Infinity War with stuff turning into particles. Just wait a minute.
Well, Tio, if this were Gods of Egypt, the effects would look worse.
Wait. Oh, I get it now.
I don't know, James. You were talking about expectations. Mine with CGI is very low. Oh,
hey, Moira, you're still here.
Hey, even Moira gets this.
What exactly is she going to do? I mean,
she's flying the plane.
Wait, she is?
Co-pilot.
No. Hank's the one flying the plane. She's the co-pilot.
Well, you do. Well, yeah, you need a co-pilot. I mean, what if you can't fly it? Yeah, you forget. And one of the few things that people actually prefer in this series to the MCU.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yes. Fulfill your destiny.
DeWitt.
Hey!
Wait, oh my god, is that in New York City?
Yeah.
God damn it.
And now we're in...
Sorry,
now-
Jordan.
Oh wait, no, wait, that's Australia.
Blah.
No, I think the last bit was in New York. This is Sydney.
Wow, jeez. This may be the highest casualty rating
I
we've had.
wonder what P. Sherman was thinking when this was happening.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit. Because,
And I'm just a dentist.
and then all the fish get dragged up, and
Yay! Mystique is now embracing her powers. Jennifer Lawrence
Perfection.
has taken on the makeup. I mean, Quicksilver sure seems to have embraced his powers well. Yeah,
No, you
she's gonna
think
need some time to rest after that.
Well, about time.
Yay! We can finally see Archangel do stuff. Like, for as much as I may make fun of Archangel, he is actually a pretty interesting character.
Again,
I'll
in
give him
general,
this.
aside from Magneto, around like the 3/4 of the movie, we finally get some usefulness about about Storm, Psylocke, and Archangel.
Yeah, and basically, I mean, Archangel's power set is pretty interesting. It depends if they end up reverting him back into Angel, though.
I don't remember.
In the
There
animated
he
continuity,
is.
he stays being Archangel.
well, why wouldn't you want to? Why would you want to get rid of the Dart Wings?
I know, I mean, I guess to be fair, the Dark Wings are technically an improvement over his regular wings.
If I recall correctly, they did stay for a while after
Booyah! I'm evil now!
for some reason.
By the way, go to Apocalypse. His haircuts are to die for.
Wait, he's the one who made your hair white? God, he did a fabulous job.
Yeah, but I'm a bad guy, so
Yeah, we're gonna have to fight you now. No, that's not. I'm here too! And my character is that.
I'm important, guys, I swear.
I've got your back!
don't worry, I'll be in the next movie.
Oh my god, I just realized. Psylocke is literally this movie's Katana. She's got their back, and that's pretty much it. Like, I
And
mean,
it came out the same year.
I mean, think about it, right? Psylocke's thing is that she's been a bodyguard to this guy, and now she's a bodyguard to Apocalypse. It's pretty much she's just got everyone's back, and nothing else.
Again, it came out the same year as Suicide. I mean, I'd much rather watch this than Suicide Squad. But
It's
still,
funny though how.
the similarity.
Oh, guess it's time for round 2 now.
It's a good job he's not the Satan, where he could just teleport him up into the sky and then let go and then to his death.
You potentially
He could
can,
do
he
that,
just
but
doesn't have
he's-
control.
Not only that, but he wouldn't do that. He's a good guy.
That sounds like a bubble.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's not working.
Or rather, I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Dad, help us, please.
Eric, you have something to live for. Your son.
Who?
You know, your son.
I have no son. Well, I don't even think he knows
let's
that
just let's
he has a son.
let's
A
just
legitimate-
let's just say, Eric, you have a terrible pullout game. Like I'm
Yeah,
almost
hell, even she said it.
I'm almost surprised I didn't get pregnant from when we were a thing.
Okay, there is one thing I do appreciate, and one thing I do appreciate about these series of movies is Michael Fassbender. Even in Dark Phoenix, the lowest of this particular era, he still gave it his all.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that about a lot of the cast here. I definitely like the guy who plays Beast. I like Quicksilver. Heck, even the girl playing Storm here is giving it her all. I just don't really care for the writing and directing.
Yeah, I couldn't bring himself to say it.
Aww.
You're my what?
Yep.
I'm your yep.
Yep-a-roo.
Oh no, the gold's gonna kill him. It will turn into the Goldar like in the Power Rangers.
Oh no.
Do we do? Yeah, that's the thing. Though. When we do the Power Rangers movie, I gotta remember to buy a box of Krispy Kreme before we start.
Oh, you meant that Power Rangers movie.
Yeah.
Oof.
I thought I was gonna do a joke slam. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about this movie. I'm having a lot of fun watching it, but I'm not blind to its problems.
Yeah, that's pretty much the case for us all here. It's a mess, but it can be a fun mess. The problem is that...
to me, Java, it's more... oh, shit.
The problem is that
That's
this
terrible.
needed to
No,
be
to
more than
me,
a
Java,
fun mess.
I'm more leaning still to the negative side, but I will say more in my final thoughts. And
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
folks, this is
And that's how he lost his...
That's so stupid.
This... I mean, really? This is how he loses his hair? Because it was part of the transfer process? Like, shouldn't his hair be able to grow back naturally then?
Ooh.
Well, I've seen something like this in Doctor Who, when someone tries body, they shaved their bald.
All right, Gene, do your thing.
And that is how Xavier lost his hair, boys and girls. So the moral of the story is, don't try merging with an Egyptian god, or you'll lose your hair.
Or worse.
All right, who's missing? Quicksilver and the Mystique.
What about Magneto? Oh shit!
And this is how Apocalypse is defeated.
Well, not yet.
Well, no, there's still a bit more left.
Just kidding, just kidding. They'll be
I mean,
honest.
would that be something?
They'll be honest, audience. Would you have been surprised if that's how they done it?
Yeah, he was so upset. He just let them go.
Hey, Quicksilver and Mystique. Psylocke! Yes,
Time
do
for
the
the
thing!
festival special.
They're working as a team!
Even though these two had no chemistry between each other.
Don't you see, Tio? She's got us back. That is officially Psylocke's character from now on in this movie.
having some back.
I know, I'm trying to wonder who did it better, her or Katana. Tio?
Sorry?
Who do you think did the whole I've got your back thing better? Psylocke or Katana?
No
Psylocke
one.
Psylocke actually does stuff. Katana just stands there.
Oof.
Yeah. Hurry up.
Do you have to hold on to my tail like that? It very hurts.
Oh fuck.
Oh no.
Well, bye.
You just gonna leave him?
So much for a team.
I guess Archangel's dead. That was nice.
Oh, some back haver she is.
Yeah.
And there you go. Again, these were the most powerful mutants that Apocalypse could find, guys.
Well, I guess the moral of the story is don't rush, otherwise you'll end up.
It really does.
You know, this reminds me, Jova, of one of the earlier arcs, a couple of earlier arcs of One Piece, as these extremely powerful Devil Fruit Bear pirates being defeated by the Rufy gang, which has a bunch of low level at that point pirates. It's kind of hilarious. X-Men has officially become an anime.
Aw, isn't that nice? Now it's Mystique's turn to give Magneto the pep talk.
Goodbye.
Boy, you know
what am I fighting for?
And meanwhile, Magneto is probably thinking, boy, I really need to start investing in better condoms at this rate.
Or condoms at all.
You are part of a bigger universe, Eric.
I'm here to talk to you about the Fox Initiative.
Yes. Being bought by Disney, I mean, salvaging what we have with Logan and Dark Phoenix. Doesn't that sound
Also,
interesting?
the new mutants, but nobody knows what's the fate of them. The single sexy tier.
There we go.
Michael, why?
You just know it, Tio. He really did have sex with James McAvoy all that time.
So yeah, like you, Apocalypse.
Yeah, you kind of haven't done much this movie, just saying.
Oh, he has done. The stuff that he has done is really cool and imposing. I just wish it was focused more on him. Again, that subplot with Stryker was completely pointless.
Fan service is what it was, and while I did appreciate the whole scene with Wolverine, did we really need that? Charles! I want your body and I want it now! Sorry.
I don't swing that way, mate.
You will when I'm through with you!
I agree first. Oof.
Yeah. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, remember,
you really
Apocalypse can adapt.
Yeah. You really think your fast running tricks will work forever?
Oops.
Well, crud.
Oof. Oof.
Oh god, I'm being warped! I'm being warped!
You're hurting my accomplice?
You're... Oh, hey, Psylocke.
Do it. Kill him.
Yes, I will do it. I will finally accomplish doing something. I'm still British, right? No! Apparently she turns on Apocalypse? What?
Well, mine, it was kind of pointless anyway, because, you know...
Did I miss a scene or something? The last scene was literally her working with Archangel to try and... Oh. Never mind. False alarm.
Yeah, ignore us. I thought you said you saw this movie before, Joe.
It's been such a while. I don't remember.
But this gives
anything.
an excuse to Storm to turn on Apocalypse because she's seeing her heroine getting crushed by Apocalypse.
So okay.
I mean, it's a better reason than the one we thought was going to happen.
I mean, yeah, but still, it kind of seems a little double standardy. Like, oh, I'm willing to follow this guy who's gonna kill the entire world, but when he's choking out my one hero who's now naked for some reason, and I guess she got rid of her clothes, that's where I draw the line. Like, okay. So, Storm, what if he was about to kill Beyonce, who you may or may not be a fan of? Then would you turn on him?
What?
Oh?
Which means...
Oh yeah, I remember when the trailers came out and people saw him being on his feet, people freaked out, saying, "Why he's not in his wheelchair?"
And now it's time for an internal showdown.
And I'm like, guys, maybe you should watch the movie.
So,
and lo and behold, it's in his mind. Yeah, feel this, motherfucker.
you took away my hair. Now I will share with you the greatest pain of all.
A headache?
Oof.
You're in my house now.
Oh,
What if this is what inspired
I'll punch you straight in the gabber.
Yep. Oh.
Oh, shit.
all that for a drop of blood, really?
I gotta say, that quote you said earlier, you know, this is my house now, I wonder if that's what inspired, Paige's debut was earlier. Wrestling reference, in case you want.
Oh, shit.
Oh, now he's becoming bigger. Hey, Tio, he looks like Apocalypse now.
He's missing the giant bulky reactors. But
Yeah.
again, that costume looks a bit too silly for a movie, so I'll let it pass.
Yeah, I wonder if in universe, in his brain he grows so big he just comes out of Charles's head in the real world.
Oh god, I think they made him actually look like this in the comics at some point. Or at the very least in that alternate universe with Moira McTaggart.
I don't remember.
Okay, Plan E isn't working. I'm going to try Plan F.
Instead, it's time. Oh,
That's right. So it'd be Plan P, also high X.
Ha!
Sunny.
Yeah, have I mentioned that the movies tend to do this a lot nowadays?
Moral of the story: you really shouldn't trust the world's most famous backstabber.
So what now, Apocalypse?
Yeah. Yeah, just do that. Don't worry, he won't be able to keep this up forever.
Or will he?
Yeah, come on. I wonder if that's how he was directed. I was like, pretend you're a Sith Lord. Oops.
Whoa. Come on, Storm.
You gotta make a decision at some point.
Bad touch, Apocalypse.
Seriously.
By the way, where's this Deadpool fellow?
He's in a different city at the moment.
Vancouver?
No, New York.
Get over here.
Also, he may be one of the few people who survives the leap.
What?
The leap to Disney.
Oh, it's the old set again.
Aww, such fan service. It's beautiful.
Oh, I really am gonna miss that set when they reboot the series.
What if I end up bringing that set back, though?
Yeah, there's no real reason for not doing that.
I mean, now that Disney owns that studio.
Okay, it's now time for the foreshadowing to feed
To a movie that the director isn't even in that when
and that the story immediately contradicts this climax.
Not only that, but again, this is supposed to be the big Fred apocalypse. Did we really need to use this to set that up? Like, again, imagine if, in Infinity War or Endgame, we constantly had something setting up for, I don't know, like Galactus or something like that. Also, convenient that he didn't bury Scott all the way into that wall. Otherwise, he would have died.
Scott had to pause for recharging his lasers.
I don't know. He never has needed to do so before. Because we're X-Men heroes. You're alone, even though you've constantly had followers. Come to think of it, what happened to all those followers from earlier? Did they just die?
I guess.
Yeah, I can imagine them being directed to see. Okay,
there she is.
We need Sophie to walk this door.
No, please.
You're going to regret that.
Do you want to build a flame bird?
Do you want to build a flame bird, or do you want it to go gray? You really do save the world. Come on, Jean Grey, don't go away. Show me no little apocalypse, who is the boss, and we will show him why.
Why we doomed Fox?
I mean, look, doomed or not, Fox really did a poor job with the later movies.
Okay, Phoenix Force or not, how she's able to do this?
Looney Tunes logic.
Jesus.
You're either Jesus or you're a Looney Tune.
And here we go.
Unleash!
Unleash!
The way James McAvoy says that line. Oh boy. And she
yes,
is
the
the one
Phoenix
who kills Apocalypse.
does the killing. Yes, the Phoenix Force is enough to destroy Apocalypse.
But hey, we get to see, there's Apocalypse's abs now.
That's the thing.
Okay, not entirely.
That's the thing. Apocalypse is supposed to be stronger than the Phoenix Force in most cases, so...
Well, again, you said in most cases.
Okay, I guess to be fair, they're all doing it together. What? He's getting away?
Teleportation ahoy!
How do we solve this? How do we solve this
Oh,
problem?
Storm! I guess she's helping us. That's right, now he can't teleport
she's been
away.
Standing there trying to contemplate what to do.
I should do something. Should I do something?
Yes, I should.
All is revealed. You know what? Go ahead, destroy me. I don't even want to be around for what's to come next. You think you've won? I've got the last laugh. I've got the last laugh. You're going to be in a Terabad movie. I'm free.
Apocalypse. Your next movie isn't much better.
What? I'm only going to be in... And cut to a few years later. Ah, crap.
Well, 1 year later, actually, Jamer.
Wait, 1 year later? Oh, God, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, last
So, Apocalypse is...
No more.
I have no more purpose now.
And she just fucks away. Great
that's the thing. She was supposed to be in the next movie, but her actress was available.
So, what to... So she just goes...
I've got one word for a situation like that.
What?
Wow.
Whoops.
Screw you guys, I'm going home. I was supposed to have a character, but nope.
Also,
I can't even decide whether or not I'm American or British.
Not for nothing, Moira, that was not how CPR works, Well,
I guess she didn't train in the medical
she's a
section
CIA
of the CIA.
agent. She should probably know how to do
Well, that's the thing, patriotism.
Oh, God.
Just because you're in the CIA, she might have been trained in a different branch.
Well, Jibs, let's not forget, first class...
Every CIA agent, most of the CIA agents do need to have a military training, and that includes first aid.
Also, I'm pretty sure first class established that she did know about CPR, hence her tending to Xavier's wounds, you know, after Magneto kind of did the whole bullet reflect thing.
Okay, well, that one didn't work, because...
Oh? No, Charles, that happened 2 movies ago.
Wait, could you just give her memories back? I guess you can.
Well, I mean, she had said earlier that some parts of it felt rather familiar.
So, you kind of mind raped me. With a kiss.
Well, hey, give me some credit. I didn't have sex with you. That'd be disgusting.
Charles,
And
not for
of course,
nothing,
she slaps him, right?
But not for nothing,
Right.
Charles, but mental abuse can be just as bad.
Right?
I was trying to protect you, you know.
Yes, I'm sure that's exactly what the
I mean,
Avengers fought in Avengers number 200.
Well, hey, at least he's apologizing. Oh. Sorry, I was sleeping.
Kurt, no.
Sorry.
Oh,
Well, damn it, we gotta repair another
Cue the
prince.
Seinfeld theme. Toon, 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 toon.
And look at that, destruction galore. But there is one good thing out of this. The people will now love the X-Men, as Dark Phoenix
4 or
establishes.
5 minutes.
Yay, X-Men! We actually respect the fact that you weren't the cause of problems.
Well, Magneto.
We're gonna give him a pardon, I guess?
Let me check if there's a post-credit
Oh,
scene.
look at that. Magneto's testing out his abilities with Jean? What?
No, they're building the school together.
Oh, guys, by the way, there's a post-credit scene.
Yes, I know. Actually, I
Of
have to
course.
speak about that too.
Atari.
So, yeah, I'm gonna hang out here with you guys now. I hope you don't have any bad feelings about me trying to help bring about the end of the world because
Sure, just
I
don't
don't
try
know.
to run off if you find a monarch of a sovereign kingdom, please.
Fair enough, though please don't mention any Shadow Kings. That kind of traumatizes me. Oh, and if you do...
Hashtag.
Also, if we do run into any hunks from Wakanda, I can't make any promises that I'll stay.
Damn it.
We don't own the rights to that.
Oh, look, guys, he's wearing the suit now! Well, there you go, Eric. I can now say that I lost my hair, literally for the good of humanity.
Unfortunately, Magneto still is too scarred to stick around.
Well, gee, he's tried. He's honest to God tried, and look where it's gotten him. Honestly, though, Magneto's getting off pretty easy considering some of the crimes he's committed.
I mean, okay, if there is one thing I did kind of like about Dark Phoenix was the ending between these two, but we're not there yet, so...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe when we go to a different universe, though.
Yeah, well...
I wonder what actor could fit for Charles for the MCU.
Yeah.
Clancy Brown?
By the way...
Too old.
By the way, Eric... I've been hearing rumblings that apparently we're to be sold. Have you heard anything about that?
Don't worry, Charles. That's never gonna happen.
I'll just look at it on the bright side. They're not doing Onslaught from what we've heard. Oh, and look at that! Now Mystique is the teacher.
He's training the rookies.
So is Archangel just dead? We gonna do anything about that?
Well, yeah, his plane crashed and got
ki-
squished into the ground.
Kind of a shame.
And blew
I mean,
up in a fireball.
kind of a shame. Archangel just seemed like a poor, confused guy. Also, Mystique, what is that new costume you've got there? It looks interesting.
I'm surprised you could turn around properly.
Oh, wait, get it, guys? Mystique is now wearing something that's
And
a
now we
throwback
can
to her white
finally
outfit.
we can finally have the Danger Room.
Oh, yeah. I remember this from X-Men The Last Stand.
With, as target practice...
Money?
No.
Is it? Also, Kirk, what are you doing?
I'm preparing.
What was the growl for?
Sentinels.
Come on, please let it be the actual
The Dyson
Sentinels.
machines!
No, God. Really? You can't just have them look like actual Sentinels?
Okay, there's a post-credit scene, but let me...
Yeah, I said that earlier.
Yeah, but so I guess in the meantime I'll start my final thoughts and just interrupt if he comes around. This movie, I'm sorry, this movie is too much of a mess to me. There are some great things about it, for example, the display of Apocalypse power, for example. But unfortunately, it's just a jumbled mess. Like I said, the major problem is the trying to condensate too much into the movie when it could have benefited to be split into two movies, even with the same length, mind you. One for a step reintroducing this character in this new continuity is called Storm, Aurora, all these people, and to have a relatively minor villain. Even Stryker would have sufficed if you ask me. I don't know, but and then the next one having Apocalypse being the major big target. Unfortunately, this is a mess, and as a result, a lot of characters suffer from this. Of course, Psylocke is one of the most egregious examples. She has almost no introduction at all, no real reason where does her power come from and everything. The original characterization is completely butchered due to circumstances, of course, but unfortunately the movie doesn't come up with a good alternative. And as per the purpose of the movie, she swings her sword one or two times and then fucks off because they had better plans, but unfortunately they got screwed over in the future. Archangel is also another, wasted opportunity, so is Storm, but you can argue those characters were present in previous movies. But the biggest problem of all of the Horsemen, unfortunately, Magneto. Magneto in this movie is a train wreck. A lot of characters get fridged around him for the sake of progressing his supposed depression that should allow him to go with Apocalypse, and then there's about that he allies with Apocalypse legitimately, I think that Magneto, even with the context of the movies, would have never done. Think of the Magneto of First Class, the fact that a Magneto would have never. Apocalypse in this context is actually similar to, the villain of First Class, So Magneto in this case, it's so ludicrous to see him becoming one of the Horsemen just because he has nothing to lose anymore or stuff like that. It's even if you really wanted to do something like this, you should have done a better job in doing this. I'm sorry, it just feels so wrong. And again, the fact that he has this family in Poland that get executed as a result of this, it feels insulting.
Well, they weren't so much executed as they were accidentally killed.
Murdered.
That's kind of just as bad, if not worse, seeing as how it just feels like a whoopsie.
Again, it's not just the fridging, it's the fact that it's used with child characters that boggles me the most. The fact that this thing is still common to this day, and not all the people acknowledge it. The fridging gets acknowledged in general, not just for this movie, in general. But with the child characters, not so much. It's mostly used for the love interest, of course. The person who coined that term was the love interest of Kyle Rayner, the DC universe. But I'm digressing. It's a huge rant that I could do for another day.
To sum it up, the major problem is the amount of potential it takes away from potential
wasted
plot lines.
But again, like I said, there are the cool things. Again, the signature scene with Quicksilver, as we've said, could be worth the entire movie. But as a result, it can also be interchangeable. You can put it into another movie where a different villain that makes the X-Men explode, and it's the same thing when you think about it. What else? Also, there are some weird things, like the reason why Charles loses his hair is because of Apocalypse body transfer. Sure. When it comes to Apocalypse himself, when it comes to the design, I'm okay. The original comic book design is a bit goofy. It looks like a clown with blue makeup when you think about it. And he has these bulky reactors when he can morph also his hand into. So this take is a bit more subdued, but they still got the major idea behind it. So
a lot of people compared him to Ivan Ooze, the first Power Rangers.
I haven't seen that, so I don't know. So that on that point, it's fine. The characterization could have done better. The basis is there, and the imposing nature of a villain is there. It's a shame that as the movie progresses, the less intimidating Apocalypse becomes, which leads to the ending. Yeah, guys, you really needed to rush the foreshadowing with the Phoenix Force, even disregarding what's going to happen in Dark Phoenix. Imagine just by seeing this movie alone, without knowing what's going to happen in the future. The rushing towards the Phoenix Force storyline is evident and terribly handled with Jean Grey, especially because this is the movie where she's introduced. So again, this movie feels really like Rush, where Fox wanted to be very panicky about what was going to happen, and so they tried to do their best to have a series of story compressed, including, for example, that divergency with Stryker that serves only to say, oh, Wolverine also had the Weapon X program, and he fucks off, which I wonder what happened to Sabretooth in this continuity, but whatever. Still, so in the end, this movie is a mess with some good elements into it. There's ideas behind it, and it shows that the makers knew the source materials for making a lot of things, but unfortunately, due to executive decisions and other minor stuff, it's still a bad product to me. Not as bad as 2 or 3 of the original trilogy to me, Reeves, don't worry about that, but a huge step down from the direction that the series was going for after scoring with First Class and Days of Future Past, unfortunately.
Hell, and
But-
at least the first two movies have the excuse that they were done in that age when superhero movies were
Also,
received
another
differently,
thing, I
but
will
yeah.
say this: the score is not really memorable for me. The most memorable thing is, as the credits are reminding me, that piece of classical music used to showcase Apocalypse's power, and that kind of says a lot when I'm remembering mostly that. Maybe that heavy metal sequence with Archangel, but that's it. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it.
Before I go on with my final, it's interesting you say that you're not a huge fan of this movie, Tio, because in terms of the making of this movie, Sophie Turner, Oscar Isaac, and Jennifer Lawrence weren't exactly big on working on this movie either, because
Well, Jennifer
Because,
Lawrence, we knew already that she didn't
but-
want to
Maybe
Because-
there was
things
more.
anymore.
maybe because Bob it says Turner described Bryan Singer as pleasant.
Mm,
Knowing what we know, it kind of makes sense.
yeah.
Oh no, I think we're about to get it.
Yeah, I'll save my final thoughts for the scene.
Quebec, Ontario.
Bruce
Oh, gee,
Lee.
what a shock. Certain scenes were shot in
Wait,
Canada.
maybe that was the movie that Aurora was watching.
Yes.
Maybe. Yes, footage from X-Men First Class and X-Men Days of Future Past, of course.
The events are fictitious, no shit.
Yeah, ownership.
Alright, it's time for one last teaser to something that never happened.
Let's see it.
Because
Back in the Arclay Mountain,
yeah, because stuff happened. Interesting vacuum cleaner, one that specifically cleans bullets.
bullets.
Huh.
Who are these mysterious people?
Who could it be?
The cleaners can.
Oh
Wait, for a
no,
second there.
it's the Men in Black.
I thought that was.
Technically speaking, they
I thought
are
that
a
was
Marvel
Finch from
property.
I thought that was Finch from Person of Interest for a second. Well, look at this fine mess you've gotten us into.
But they have the testing for Weapon X program. But who are these people?
Good question.
Weapon X.
Hey, this would be great for making a clone.
They're from Essex. Wait,
the Essex Company, which is property of Mr. Sinister, which we're never gonna see.
Oopsie.
yeah. When I saw that bit, I thought, wait, they're from Essex, England. What's so threatening about that?
Basically, in the comics, Mr. Sinister is another very powerful villain that has this company, and well, yeah, you can imagine what the direction they were going for. But the only thing that came out is the character of X-23 in Logan, which we'll see another time. But anyway, go on, Reeves.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, and my thoughts really haven't changed. So I guess that's one thing about this. This movie to me is like that weird one in the middle, one that has good stuff, but is balanced out by some really odd stuff. And to me, this is the slap bang in the middle X-Men movie if I were going to rank it on a list. Like, I mean, the actors are doing a good job, even if they're working with Bryan Singer at this point in time.
It's
Because
sad because working with Bryan Singer used to be seen as a good thing.
well, then I'm considering what happened with Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah. The film looks good. I mean, it's on the $200 million budget. And yeah, I know they don't go to the effects, but still. And credit where it's due. There are a lot of good scenes. Quicksilver. How Apocalypse is affecting the world. At the end. That's a. So I mean, it's not like this film has a problem with scale and threats.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The main issue really is that they're trying to do a few too many things, and like superhero films that try to do that come before it, no matter what series you're watching.
And not to mention the power scaling thing. Like, let's put things into perspective here. Now that you've made a villain as big and OP as Apocalypse, you gotta have something even bigger eventually.
And they can't, and they're not exactly going to use Colossus because of that. Yeah, it doesn't really come together really all that well. You know, it's kind of, it just comes off as a bit of a mess. You know, it's trying to be, you know, a lot of things at once. Unfortunately, when you do that, it doesn't really come together as a whole. I mean, hell, even you know, the MCU tried to do that, and we ended up getting Iron Man 2. Spider-Man did that twice.
Yeah, I mean, at least Spider-Man 3 was fun, but Amazing Spider-Man 2 was just...
I have fun watching that movie, even if it is I seem to be a tolerant, messy film you guys are.
I mean, to be fair, yes, commentating on bad films can be fun.
And I do remember enjoying this film for the most part when I saw it in the cinema a few years ago.
Kudos to that.
Yeah, but overall, again, it's just kind of average for me. A lot of good, but a lot of bad balances it out. And you know, but I am grateful though that the movie that came after this was like 6 trillion times better because you know, I mean that helped give the X-Men series a bit of goodwill for a bit longer.
To the point where I think they're calling that movie the best of the X-Men movies.
Well, we'll find out more about that when we get to it. But overall, I'll just call this one X-Men Apocalypse.
Don't you mean X-Men Apocalypse?
Nah, that one's a bit... yeah. Anyway, yeah, just average.
Yes, that leaves me. Yeah, like I said, this relook at the franchise has been interesting. 1 and 2 have not aged that well. And like I said, First Class was actually better than I remembered it to be. Days of Future Past, while not as great as I remembered it to be, was still a pretty great movie. Sadly, though, this movie is disappointing. Like, I mean, I can't even bring myself to constantly stay angry at this movie. It's that disappointing. Like, again, this movie tries so many things, but it doesn't seem to have proper focus. Even on, you know, the one thing that should have focus, Apocalypse. I think a big problem with this movie lies in how it works stuff with the characters. Like, again, Storm is just doing her own thing, and then all of a sudden, oh, she wants to work with Apocalypse. Because, I don't know, she apparently wants to doom the world. Until she sees that Apocalypse strangles her hero who, well, no duh, a hero was trying to stop Apocalypse from doing his thing. What did you think was gonna happen, girl? It's kind of a shame, too. I mean, I really like Storm, and to see her reduced to this really sucks. Similar thing with Archangel here. Like, Archangel actually does have an interesting character arc going on, but then they just up and kill him. Yeah, he was kind of a guy who was abused in Germany and all that, but whatever, he's dead now.
Jova?
Yeah?
Sorry to interrupt you, but according to TV tropes, we might have found out the reasons why this film is really uneven.
Oh, do tell.
Bryan Singer had a habit of not being on set.
Oh, gee, just like Van Forstick. What else?
And in his own example, Bohemian Rhapsody, meaning that the cinematographer for the movie, Newton Thomas Sigel, had to direct a few scenes.
Oh, that explains why this film feels like it's being directed by multiple people at times.
Because it is. Also, Oscar Isaac didn't like wearing the costume and the makeup, which apparently prevented him from being able to move properly or even move to face the other actors.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I was about to say, while I get why they may have changed Apocalypse's costume, I'm not really that big a fan of this one either, because this one looks a little too busy. Like, yeah, sure, you could say the one in the comics looks like a clown, but at least his thing was simplistic enough so that he could move around in it. Here, it just looks all weird and complicated.
I mean, how apparently Jennifer Lawrence, her experience making this movie was, again, not pleasant. I mean, she was going to leave the franchise after this, although she did come back for Dark Phoenix.
Because they were contractually obligated.
Well, I guess that and Bryan Singer wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, that too. Anyway, go on, Bloobs.
Well, yeah, and also what I posted earlier, line of when Magneto yells, "Is this what you want me?" That was Michael Fassbender improvising.
Gee, I wonder if that was him breaking character there for a bit.
But they kept it. But maybe that was the scene Singer didn't direct.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, I think the best way to describe this movie is disillusioning. It was disillusioning for fans of the film franchise. It was disillusioning for people who were looking up to Bryan Singer, especially those who worked with him. It's just, again, while not flawless, the X-Men universe felt like something that could always get back up on its feet. And yes, even after this, it did get back up on its feet. The problem was that this was like one of the big blockbuster hits. Like, this is Apocalypse. Like I've said countlessly before, he is the mutant equivalent to stuff like Thanos or Darkseid. They needed to get this right, but they didn't. Like, I get hinting at things to come, but when even the DC Cinematic Universe knows not to just stuff Darkseid in with all this other plot and rather just actually builds up to him, and you don't, you've got problems. Like, yes, the DC Cinematic...
that film stuffed in other things.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's the thing. The DC Cinematic Universe definitely had its problems before it finally got itself on its feet. But at the very least, they knew they were going to do Darkseid, not to have him constantly fighting with all of these other plots. Like, that's the most disorienting thing about this movie. There are so many microplots here and there. And also, the movie taunts us with Jubilee, knowing that fans have been asking to see her actually get to do something in the movie, and while she does hang out with the main characters for quite a bit of time, she ultimately does nothing. What the heck? Yeah, like Tio said, the music is not really that memorable this time, outside of the main theme and Apocalypse's theme. God, what else is there? Okay, yeah, the effects, they're decent. They're good. They get the job done. It's sad. That's one of the few things I can say full-heartedly get stuff done. Oh, boy, Magneto in this movie. I get that they want to bring him back in the action, but why not have him helping the heroes against a great plot? Like, that's the thing. For as much a big threat as Apocalypse is, the movie doesn't really treat him like that big a threat. Like, until, like, near the end, and even still... That's more so Magneto's doing, not even Apocalypse's doing. So, yeah, Apocalypse, it's weird. They give Apocalypse all these powers, yet he kind of feels like a wimp. Like, yeah, it's like Tia said, the further you go into this movie, the more like a wimp Apocalypse feels. Kind of a shame. Oh, boy. And yeah, Storm is now joined with the X-Men. Again, I love how they're completely ignoring the fact that she was willing to help out with Apocalypse, the end of the Earth, until, her fan, the girl that she really likes, Mystique, is getting choked.
It's like when they let Jason Statham join the main gang, even though he killed one of their friends.
Yeah, that's like one of the few flaws of Fate of the Furious. Again, ignoring a character's sins that easily.
To be fair, Hobbs and Shaw brought that up again.
Okay, yeah, they at least had that. Whereas Dark Phoenix, I know for a fact, won't bring that up with Storm.
Storm even in that movie?
Yeah, she's in that movie. I mean, why wouldn't she be?
Well, Psylocke wasn't in the next movie.
And that was a big, big whoopsie.
Yeah, well, her actress wasn't available, so...
The point being is, like, well, again, this movie could have been much, much better. And I'm gonna side with you on this. It sadly makes it one of the bad films. Like, you know, say what you will about X-Men 3, The Last Stand, but at least with all the plots that movie had, at least it felt like it came together in the end. This can't even say like that. It's just stuff happened aside from itself, not really in tandem with itself here. Like, the whole Stryker thing comes and then goes. It really feels like it was just there as an excuse to see Wolverine when you get down to it, because, yeah, that's kind of all we accomplished really with the Stryker stuff, setting Wolverine free. And let's not forget, he'll later become a professor at Xavier's school. Do we ever figure out how it comes to that?
That's the thing,
He went to college.
That's the thing, Joe. That the next movie we're gonna tackle after this will pretty much tell you, but it's pointless anyway.
Yeah. This movie, man. This movie. It was fun to commentate on in the moment, but after you watch it, you realize, you know, a lot of potential that was important to this franchise just got wasted. Who knows why? Well, okay, I guess now we have a better idea of why, but it doesn't make it any less tragic. So, that was X-Men Apocalypse. It sucked.
Not as much as, say, or anything like that.
Timeline-wise, the movie after this is Dark Phoenix, but we have a detour before that, don't we?
Yes. Join us next time for when we go on the happily merry journey of a man who is losing his powers, a professor going senile, whose only company is a tall, bald guy. Meanwhile, they're being relentlessly pursued by a bunch of pricks, led by an evil professor, as they make their journey across the country to find the one safe place. So join us next time for our commentary on The Last of Us. The road.
God of War and something else.
I think it was Logan Miller.
No, Logan Lucky. Anyway, join us next time for what is considered one of, if not the best movies in this series, and indeed of the comic book film genre as a whole. 2017's Logan.
See you then.
See ya.